one. Hello and welcome to the Friday Night Social with me, Mike Dix and Aid Thompson. Hello, how's everyone doing this good evening? In the chat, we've got Diz and Trip Trip and Chris C and Trip Trip again. And then we've got MH Carer. And then we've got Reverend Kathy and then Trip Trip again. Hello, everyone. If you'd like to join our friends in the chat, all you need to do is hit the big juicy subscribe button, wait for 1 minute and don't be a troll. Right, Aid, can you hear us? Are you coming in? Are we coming in your ears? Yeah, you're coming in my ears. Is he coming in your ears, Mike?
Aid's always coming in my ears.
This is awesome.
Doing,
Aid, this is past your bedtime. Thank you for staying up for us.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Are we your favourite worst nightmare?
Yeah,
have you had a coffee again or something? Is it like...
I've had a beer. Does that count?
Oh,
got a buzz on.
He's got a buzz on now. Oh no.
Yeah.
Are you going to go off on one?
half from the beer, but half because I'm just intoxicated on your company, Graham, and yours, Mike.
Thank you. How did your live show go? Sorry, I missed it because I was watching The Fifth Element, which I honestly haven't watched since 1997.
I mean, you made the right decision. So
I did actually. Oh God, it is such an entertaining movie. I've forgotten how entertaining.
I've never seen it.
I watched Aid's live show. Actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because Mike's my friend.
I also said something in the comments and he ignored me completely. But
do you know what? I had it on the Superchat thing. I didn't the whole time I was ranting. I only saw the Superchat.
Can you turn your mic up a little bit, please?
Me,
Aid. Yeah, and also your name. I don't know who this is, but there's someone called Adrian Thompson. I don't know who the hell that is.
I've changed that about 3 times. 3 times I've changed it.
It could be worse. Whenever I log on, because I'm using Phil's account, it comes up as Phil Morehouse. So I was on Politic X's, Alex's show. Which is going to be transmitted on Sunday. And I didn't realise that it said Phil Morehouse in the corner. And these guys who I don't know from Turn Left Media were like, "Oh, hi, Phil." And I was like,
What?
Okay. What? Oh, shit. I got the wrong name in the corner of my screen. Fuck.
How's that? Is that a bit better?
It is a bit better. Yeah.
Okay,
pump up the beat. That's it, mate. So what were you talking about on your show then? In fact, we should ask Mike what was Aid talking about on his show, Mike?
Tim Westwood.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah, I
Tim
mean,
Westwood.
he's a not very nice man, is he?
No.
Charged with, depending on what media you read, 4 counts of something rather bad that begins with an R word. 7 counts I read on the BBC's coverage.
Yeah.
Of things that are related to that sort of behavior, but not as bad as that one. I'm trying to be diplomatic with my language because I don't want to demonetize you. But it's not looking good for him, and there's obviously been looking much worse for those that have encountered him. So not great.
Well, he's part of the private school mafia, and he's also the son of a bishop. So I think that he represents, in many ways, the elite that we're told, the metropolitan elite.
His dad was the Bishop of Peterborough when I lived in Peterborough.
Really?
Have you guys heard old school audio of him back in the day when he used to just be like a local radio DJ?
Hello, old chap. Well, wasn't Ali G based on him?
Was it?
Yeah, because he was like this white kid, this posh white kid who went to private school. His dad was a bishop. He was he was coming off in the streets, man.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Hey, do you know what else is sad? Have you seen The Penguin Lessons, the film with Steve Coogan?
No.
Well, it's supposed to be charming. No. I've not seen it, but apparently the guy that it's about, a lot of horrible stories have come out about him abusing children in the 1970s.
Oh, really?
God. And the publisher, Penguin, are like, oh, fuck. And the people who made the film are like, oh, well, he wasn't actually involved in the film that we wrote based on his life. So we didn't know.
There's a lot of this, isn't there? They sort of clamour for these stories to make films out of or TV series. And they do them just far too quick. Like, you should really wait for somebody to die and then just check. Check and make sure they weren't Jimmy Savile's best mate secretly. Yeah, but then make the film.
If you made the film like a few weeks after Jimmy Savile died, it would still been a hero with the statue of him outside of Jim in fucking Glastonbury.
You can guarantee somebody was on the phone to Dominic Cumberbatch saying, "Do you want to play Jimmy Savile in a biopic?" 2 weeks after he died, basically.
But it's all a bit grim, and what is interesting, isn't it, that the metropolitan elite, the real elite, they're not going to tell their little gammon folk to go and surround a private school and shout at the kids inside, because obviously they're all guilty of the crime. Oh my God, what has happened? EOS webcam utility. Oh my God, what happened? Aid.
I don't know what happened there.
Like, got swallowed by your camera, like in Tron.
Yeah. Sorry. Carry on.
Anyway, so I saw one battle after another this week with Leonardo DiCaprio and Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn, and it was really good. So I'm going to recommend that to you, Aid, if you ever get to the cinema. Yeah. Don't know if you can get out the house these days. It's a bit tricky. Well,
I was just saying to a friend of mine the other day, like, I'm regaining a bit of freedom. Like here and there, I can get out now. It's not as all consuming parenthood as it used to be.
Is that since you sold your children to that Chinese surgeon?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Freedom at last.
Yeah, this mortgage isn't going to pay itself, Greg.
You got enough money for 3 rounds of drinks at Wetherspoons.
Well, I had to get a new pair of glasses.
Oh, don't.
From
how much?
Specsavers.
I'm very lucky, but also very ignorant of how much glasses cost. How much are they?
£415, which is about what I earn in a week.
I just paid 200 quid for lenses in these. It's crazy.
Because I've got to get varifocals now. I can't read with my glasses on. I've got to take my glasses off to read. I've reached that age where apparently it happens. It's happened to Kat as well.
I've reached the age that I'm supposed to be wearing them like this. I think.
Yeah. But I think there's prestige to that.
Look at this young age.
Oh, hello. Look at that young man over there. Isn't he sexy? Oh, hang on.
He's got one of those lovely hats on the kids like to wear. Lovely.
Years and years ago, I was on a train platform with my stepdad, and we were like looking at the time, or like the what time the train was going to arrive at, and I squinted, and he looked at me.
Hey, Scott.
And hey, Scott. And he was like, "Do you need glasses? Do you need to go for an eye test?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "No, because if I go to get my eyes tested and I need glasses," I was like, "it's just another thing." I have to like keep getting like checked for and get new rims and like, and I stand by that. Like maybe I did need glasses. Maybe I still do. But
so sorry, you were masturbating on a train and someone said, "Do you need glasses?" Is that what happened?
That's exactly what happened.
That'll make you go blind. That's what they said.
That's what I got told when I was.
But I wasn't going to do it. I thought I can go for another couple of years. Just take me glasses off when I'm reading and put them back. But, and here's the thing. I went away over the summer with the girls. We went to Disneyland, and I was filming the big firework display that they have each night, and I couldn't see the screen and the fireworks because you could either see one or the other. Couldn't see both. Yeah. So I've had to bite the bullet. But that's the most I've ever spent on glasses. They are ridiculously expensive.
Sorry, you're talking about glasses?
Yeah. I got to get some varifocals because I'm old, Scott. I'm so old.
Once upon a time, we all would have spoken about cool stuff, and now we're talking about like
everyone in the chat's talking about how much the glasses cost. Well, I got a thing off YouTube today saying you've been a member of YouTube for 19 years. 19 fucking years I've been on YouTube. Wow. Still haven't got the fucking hang of it.
I got varifocals about 3 years ago.
Did you? Okay, that makes sense because you're a little bit older than me.
Hey, come on, look, we got to bring the age down here. Basically, I hear Taylor Minogue's got a new album out.
Taylor Minogue, yeah, fucking awesome, mate.
The kids,
it is awesome.
Love it.
Oh, Scott, last week we were talking about you coming to Britain when you were a kid and Nirvana, and then we just went off on one about Nirvana, talking about Nirvana. Someone in the comments went, "I really wanted to hear Scott's story about how he came to the UK," and then you interrupted him talking about fucking Kurt Cobain, you twat. So, do you want to finish? Do you want to finish your story from last week, Scott?
Because I don't remember where we were in that.
You were telling us why you came to the UK. You were dragged here by your parents.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, no, I've got no problem talking this. My mom and dad are both English. Well, my dad is actually Welsh. She was born in Bangor, Wales. My mom was born in Torquay during the Blitz. So but my mom grew up in Southeast London, and my dad grew up in Liverpool. And when my dad moved to London, they met and they got married, fell in love, got married, etc. In the 1970, I think it was 1970 or 1971. They um, they went to go visit my uncle, who my dad's brother, who was living in New York City at the time, and they went over to visit him and basically fell in love with New York City,
Oh.
and they moved over
Scott, sorry,
there.
can I just interrupt for a moment? Aid, what do you think of In Utero? Like as the album, do you think that's their masterpiece? Do you think?
Scott, carry on. Please carry on.
So basically, they moved to America. They had my brother and they had me, and they split up. I think it was 85, 86. Um, and unfortunately, my brother, he suffers with severe mental health issues, um, and autism,
Is this an
and
older brother or a younger brother?
he's older than me, so
Okay.
he's 50, whereas I'm 48. And he with these illnesses, obviously my parents split up. My mom was struggling, single mom raising two kids, um, teenagers, one who's now severely mentally ill, trying to medicate him.
Mm, right.
So when we talk about migrants coming over to use our healthcare system, that was me because we needed to.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, Scott. We forgive you because you're
Thank
white.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
he's a white guy.
Yeah,
You're
a
a white
white
guy,
guy.
Scott. It's fine.
Oh,
Well,
hang on,
yeah.
hang on. You are a Christian, right? Oh
Yeah,
no,
and
we've
straight.
let another
You're a straight-
Satanist in. Oh,
You're a straight,
you're a
straight
straight
Christian,
Christian.
yeah, Scott. Yeah.
Oh
So
no! Oh
basically,
no! Fuck! We
I
let one
mean,
in.
when my brother was diagnosed with what he has, he was in hospital for 2 weeks, and that came to $25,000.
Wow.
Fuck!
That was 1993. So imagine what it's like now.
Yeah.
No.
I've seen the
And
receipts of people who have given birth, like and how much it's
yeah,
cost. Even people with like
I saw the bill.
insurance.
I'll never
Mm.
forget it. I'll never forget seeing a bill with that amount of money on it.
Phil
It's
Nelson
$25,000.
says it's World Mental Health Day today, actually. So maybe a little time
Oh, well,
for
there you
reflection
go.
and consideration. Yeah, absolutely.
My brother is a paranoid schizophrenic. So, his weekly medication bill came to $80 a week.
Wowzers,
It was
trousers.
unsustainable.
Yeah.
So my mom, she was born here. She grew up here. She said, you know what? Her sister still lived here at the time. My aunt, and they worked it out that care for somebody with that sort of mental health condition
Mm.
is much better here anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um the whole care and community type thing. I mean,
What
in
happens?
America it's non-existent.
What
It's
happens?
non-existent.
Can I just ask, like, so if it's $80 a week,
Mm,
so what, 80, 160, sorry, my math is terrible, 240, 30,
yeah,
$320 a month, right?
yeah.
So if you don't pay that
Hmm.
and because you can't afford to, or you miss a payment and you don't take your meds and you
Then you have a
go,
severely schizophrenic person who's
right,
unmedicated.
and then so the state don't medicate you, the patient has a fit or some sort of episode, what happens to them then over there? Jail.
I guess they would be committed into an asylum. You do get committed.
Wow.
Um,
And are they
but
state run? Are they paid
it's
for by the
there's
state?
I don't think no, I don't think so. I think
So,
you end
so
up
you
having
would
to
Wow.
have
pay.
to find the money for that as
Uh-huh.
well. Jesus.
There's nothing. There's no safety net there. So that's why mom was like, nah. She found out here it was much, much better. So she moved here. She moved us here in 1993.
Mm.
But I was 16. My brother was 18. Um, and I mean, we went to I remember going to the doctor like when we registered with the GP when we got here. I mean, this was 1993, so we were able to come here and get somewhere to live and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. It's not like we had to wait 10 years for a flat. Um, so it was a little easier, and um, But again, my mom worked here for years and years and years. My dad worked here for years and years and years before moving to America. So
Oh, you
it's
don't have
not
to
like,
justify it, mate. I think
no,
you
I'm
should be able
just
to
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like,
live
it's not
anywhere.
like we came here to just a willy-nilly sort of like, oh,
No, of
let's just
course
move
not.
to England. I mean, my
Yeah,
mom
but you
had,
don't get loads of money off the government every day, do you? I mean,
not at
you're
all. No,
working and you're paying your taxes and you're
I
paying your
work.
rent.
I've always worked. I've worked since I was 16 years
Yeah,
old. My
exactly,
brother,
exactly.
unfortunately, cannot work.
Yeah.
So
Well, you got
that's
And can I just say it's like really eye-opening to hear this because I don't know about I can't speak for everybody else in this chat, but I always assumed that you were a character act, that you weren't really American. You were an English guy who was putting on a slightly off American accent.
what, like Dexter
How-
Fletcher in Press Gang?
How
Yeah,
do
but
I
actually you are.
distinguish myself in politics social? I know. I'll just...
I know what I'll do.
We're getting love coming in though, and yeah, people.
I'm not
Diz
looking at the
says,
chat right now. Thank you so much. Though.
He's a
Diz says,
legend, Scott.
big love to Scott's brother. Kiss, kiss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's hard. He's 50. He got
Yeah.
to 50. He's
Yeah.
done pretty fucking good. He gets
Yeah.
up every morning and he survives and he does his best every day. And I
Mhm.
think with a condition like that, I mean, obviously he's medicated and we've gone through, it's been
And
very up and down throughout the years.
is he living? Is living independently or is he living in care?
I live with
outside?
him.
He
Mhm.
lives with you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I live with him.
Yeah.
This is his
cool.
place. This is not my
Cool.
place.
Right.
So I live with him. I always make that very clear. This is not my flat. This is his flat. Because our mother passed away in 2000, so 7 years after we moved
Sorry,
here,
man.
and that's because she had her own health issues that
Mm.
eventually, yeah, um, she passed. So after she passed, we tried. Obviously, I was living outside. I was living in. I remember I was living with some lesbian in Deptford, in Southeast London. We tried to.
That's a great title for the autobiography.
Yeah.
living with a lesbian in Deptford.
Deptford.
That's the name
Or
of
the
my new
beginning-
album. Living
beginning
with
of
a
any
lesbian in
stand-up set.
Deptford.
Like you could start an open mic routine just like so. I was living in Deptford with this lesbian.
This lesbian.
People would be like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Her name was Ruth, and she had a very scruffy dog.
Yeah.
All true. Literally all true.
Yeah.
That is true. Um, and yeah, like we were living apart, and they wanted to sort of get him living independently, but 6 months later,
Yeah.
he had a breakdown, and I had
Sorry,
to
man.
fight social services,
yeah,
psychiatric doctors, and I'll never forget it. Like yes,
Fight to get
6
him the
months
help
after-
he needed.
Yeah, no, well, for me to move in
Right,
because
okay.
no
Yeah.
one seemed to think that it would be a good idea that I lived with him.
Yeah.
But it's kind of worked. I mean, there's been times I've moved away, I moved out because we did try again to sort of live more independently, but I think what coming back was more my own misfortune and my own problems. So, and he welcomed me back. So, we live quite not I wouldn't say comfortably. We live in a housing association flat on a dodgy estate. But we're here, we're settled. He has his routine of the things that he goes and does every week with going out with certain groups. He goes to the gym once a week. He has a couple of hobbies he likes to do. He has guitar lessons. He likes reflexology and massage and all this tantric shit. I don't know. Not tantric, Reiki.
Tantric
I was
Nan.
going to say,
The
yeah,
tantric
fucking hell.
sexual, no, sorry, Reiki and things like that. He
If the
loves all
NHS
that.
are providing that, I just
Yeah. Woo.
They're not. He pays for that sort of thing. So this is it's sort of trying to give him a little bit of a quality of life because because of his autism, he's extremely introverted. I am very extroverted. I am very loud. I'm very boisterous, as we all know. He is the exact opposite of that. Like you only way you could tell we're brothers is just by some sort of resemblance, but personality wise, we couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
Except that he is actually kind of funny. He does like to have a little bit of a giggle, but
Whereas you're not funny at all, and you never make us
no,
laugh.
I'm fucking
Dead serious.
I just
Straight
tell
man.
rude. I tell rude jokes on a politics channel.
You're getting some more
It's
love.
yeah, I was just going to say that the chat is absolutely adoring
Yeah.
adoring you, and so am I. I didn't know this story, Scott. I think you've done a remark. I mean, I know in a lot of ways it's not what you're seeking at all, basically, because it's your life. But you know, it's a remarkable thing.
Yeah,
And,
it is.
it's a good story to hear. It's nice
thank
to hear a
you.
good story.
It's very strange for me because I was in therapy probably I had to go into therapy. Last time I went into therapy was about 2017, 2018. It was after breaking up with my last boyfriend, which was a really fucking hard relationship. That's all I'll say right now. It was a very difficult relationship, and the breakup sucked. And so I had therapy after that, and my therapist used to say to me every time we talked about my brother and taking care of my brother, he goes, "You do know that most people wouldn't do what you do."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, of course
Yeah.
they do." They go, "No, they don't."
Yeah. Chris
That's
C in
true.
the chat is saying, listening to Scott restores my faith in humanity. Phil's saying, well done, Scott. Bro done pretty good despite the challenges. I wish
Yeah.
it could have been less of a struggle. Tracy saying you're a good brother. And Alice Durham is sending hugs to you and your brother.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
just
you, thank
lots
you.
of love coming in the chat there.
All
Thanks.
right, well, I appreciate that. It just to finish my point,
Yeah.
to me, like he's family. He's all I've got.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course I'm
Yeah.
all I've got.
Well,
Yeah,
our family's
I
like
don't
this with
think
my
it's
dad.
a-
There's no way my
Yeah.
dad was going to a home. He just wasn't. He was going to stay at
Yeah.
our house and we'd look after him, whether that was me, my mum, my brother. You know, my brothers. We'll find a way, and that's just the way we are. But there are people out there, Scott, who just be like, I can't be dealing with this. I've got my own life to live. But this is
Yeah.
life, you know. This is life.
Right, this is what I said.
You do have to look after each other. You can't just be
One
selfish
could
all
say
the time.
it's unfortunate that I have the life that I have, but I'm here. I'm living it. I just got to get on with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What I am fortunate for is having a roof over my head. What I'm fortunate for is to live in a country that look after people like my brother.
Yeah.
Which is why why I've gotten very political, especially before, like a little bit before and after the pandemic, and watching like the Tory government, I had to sit with him in an assessment for him to get his benefits, where they asked really horrible questions like if he could wipe his ass and things like that, and it was asked by someone who wasn't even a doctor.
Yeah.
They were just a hired admin person. It was humiliating. It was uncomfortable. And it
Not
was
even a
cruel.
civil,
Huh?
not even a civil servant. They
Yeah.
contract that work out.
It was
don't they?
it was a temp
Yeah.
asking
Yeah.
questions from a screen, and I thought it was just the ultimate in cruelty. The fact that we got there to this assessment center, which was it was in this little cottage like building, I remember, and it had a flat sort of door, but the assessment room was upstairs because they wanted to see if you could get up the stairs. It was part of the assessment.
Fuck's sake.
Like, it's performative cruelty, and this is why I get so angry when when the Tories were in power. Why I would be so fucking angry, and I'm angry at Keir Starmer for not being left enough, and I'm angry watching what's going on in America, especially under Trump. I mean, I couldn't even imagine me and my brother living there now.
Yeah.
Like, what would we do? How would we be able to survive? How people are surviving now, I don't get it.
I feel as it's
I
something
do.
that people need to understand in this country, especially if they're thinking of voting for Nigel Farage. That is the system he
will
wants.
take it
He
all away
wants
from
the
him.
American system.
He will take it all away from him.
Yeah.
So this is why I stand up and I go, "You're an idiot if you're going to vote for Nigel Farage." And I'm so unapologetic about it, and I don't care, and I will tell you straight to your fucking face. And I know people go, "You can't do that." No, fuck that, because you need to tell people when they're being fucking stupid. Because I'm telling you now,
Yeah.
I did a driving lesson today, right? I I had halfway through the driving lesson, right? My feet, I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble with the feet, and it's controlling the clutch and the brake and the gas and the blah blah, and doing them all in the time that I need to do them, and moving the gear stick and turning and all this shit. I'm working on it, but we had to stop at one point, and I said to him, "So how do you think I'm doing?" And he hesitated. He went, "Well, it's a bit bumpy." And I went, "That is such a bullshit word. You got to tell me what I'm doing wrong because I can't fix it if you don't tell me. Don't tell me it's bumpy. I'm just not one of these people. You got to give it to me straight, or I'm just not going to know."
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm going to give it to you straight as well.
Yeah. No,
Like,
that's not
as straight as I
unfortunate.
can be,
I think we
anyway.
need that. I think we need that sometimes. I want to send out some love to Sarah in the chat. And
So anyway, that's my story,
Yeah.
and I hope the people that watch this regularly. I've been doing this now over a year with you guys. You know, a little bit more of my background. You know what motivates me a little bit more, and so I don't mind sharing my story. And I feel like I've talked enough, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Let you guys talk about Star Trek or what the fuck ever it was. While I shop for records.
Oh, thank God.
Half those things back there I bought while we've been on this show, I'll tell you.
Jovian has said that I think a lot of people are not surviving in the US, which is very true. And
Right.
one of the most shocking things, I think I mentioned this on the show before, one of the most shocking things I've ever seen on my travels, right? And that's saying a lot because I've seen a lot of fucked up things out there. Was one time I was in the US, I was in Los Angeles, and there was a guy who was at the side of the exit going out of the subway. There is like a subway in LA, an underground train. It only goes like 2 stops, but it is there. There is one. It's only on one line. And I was coming out, and this poor guy, he looked like Freddy Krueger. He looked like, melted skin, obviously burns that hadn't been treated, no hair, eyebrows, nothing, and he had a cardboard sign, and it said, "Burnt in fire, please help." And I've seen shit like that on the streets of Cairo and Mumbai, on the streets of Kinshasa and these places. I've never seen anything like that on the streets of a developed nation. And I saw that in America, and it shocked me to my core.
When we talk about America, we talk about, we start talking about the economy, blah blah blah. America's the richest country in the world, etc. It's the richest country in the world. You can't help this guy out.
Yeah, it's the richest third world country in the world.
It's literally that, and it's
Well,
frightening.
it's got some of the richest people in the world.
Yeah.
But it's also got it's got the largest poverty gap, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Or one of the largest.
But it's so weird. Like I once heard it kind of compared to like football games or American football teams where they say, people love to cheer on America because it's got the biggest economy in the world, or at least for the moment, until China almost certainly overtake it. But they love to cheer it on in terms of like where the Dow is at, where the NASDAQ is at. But it's like you don't actually have any stake in the game. You're not going to get any return from it in exactly the same way as you would do if you were like a football fan. You're like, yeah, we beat you. It's like, what did you get out of you? You beat us? Did you?
Has it trickled down? Has it trickled down yet?
Yeah, I mean, people are cheering on these billionaires and corporations.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, their families, like maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but at some point, probably not too far from now, like your cousin, your brother, your mum, someone's going to need some fucking help, and that safety net's not going to be there, right?
But
and moving here was the safety net.
Yeah.
Moving here was. It was awful. I was 16 years old. I had a girlfriend, believe it or not. That was the last thing I wanted to do. But, I have to roll with the punches of life,
The girlfriend was the last thing you wanted to do.
How come you had a girlfriend when you were 16 and I didn't?
I had plenty of girlfriends when I was a teenager.
I didn't kiss a woman until I was 32.
That's a lie.
It was 34. Anyway, Victoria in the chat saying, I know someone who had cancer twice in 3 years, breast and your uterine, is that?
Uterine.
She was refused disability benefits, but won on appeal. That job, you know what you were talking about, Scott, with someone going down a list? The assessments, right?
Awful.
How do they fucking sleep at night, the people who do those jobs?
I didn't get it.
How? They're like, I stopped all these disabled people getting any money today. You know, did they go home and kiss their husband, kiss their wife?
This guy cried while he was trying to get up the stairs, and it took away his benefit.
You know, like
looking at the comments, there's 2 or 3 people talking about people going through chemo and stuff and being turned down by the DWP. I didn't even bother trying.
I was going to ask that just.
I looked at
any benefit.
I've got some help. I get some support, but a number of people said try for PIP, and there's a part of me that just kind of went, look, there are definitely people that deserve it much more than me, so I'm not even going to try. The classic sort of middle class approach to the whole thing. But then also I just looked at it and the paperwork and the process, and you just go, honestly, I think that will do me more harm going through that process.
My brother literally now has administrators that look after his money, and they will look after, and he's got social workers that will literally do his PIP applications for him, where they include notes from consultants, you know, like he when I talk about him being a paranoid schizophrenic, it's you know, people think it's just some multiple personality thing, which has nothing to do with schizophrenia.
No.
It is a very, very fucked up illness, and it can really debilitate the way you live your life.
The paranoid bit in particular is the
killer, how you live it, if you can continue to live it, you know. And so it you know, we're very fortunate that he has had to have that assessment only once, because I complained. I really complained.
Can I just ask, like, and you can, I don't mean to pry, I'm just curious because
it's about 7 inches, and I do quite well with thickness.
Is it circumcised or not?
Yeah, well, I grew up in America.
I did promise knob jokes, so here we are.
No, I was just going to ask. Like,
just incidentally, just on that, because else I'll forget.
Oh, did you see I have autism now, yeah.
Did you see RFK today?
I forgot I'm autistic because
there's a higher percentage of people that are circumcised who have autism because they were given paracetamol.
But aren't all American kids circumcised?
I was just about to say, it is the nuttiest fucking thing he could have possibly said.
So there's no girls with autism
as a part of the course of being born in America as a boy.
So there's hardly any autism in Europe where we don't really circumcise babies.
Yeah, apparently.
And there's no girls who have got autism who are autistic, I should say, in America.
Africa, yeah.
Okay.
His connection was by when we circumcise when they circumcise their children, they give them Tylenol as pain relief.
Right, there it is.
Because they're popping pills when they're fucking infants.
Right.
What was your question, Aid? I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask, like, so I'm curious. So I've considered going for like assessments of like bipolar, ADHD, and I've always held back on doing that sort of stuff, even though I recognize some of the symptoms and traits in myself, as have other people. And I always look at it like, if I start taking the medication, much like the glasses conversation that we were having earlier, it's like, it's a thing that I will always be dependent, reliant on. It's much better if I just kind of handle it. And also, I think if I started taking the medication, I would be tempted to want to feel like me again and stop it and like have just like 2 weeks or 3 weeks of just feeling normal again. And I just wondered, and again, I emphasize, I don't mean to pry, is there a temptation there for your brother? Does he ever go like, I just really, that's interesting.
I mean, asking if he's taking this medication is daily.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you know, as part of like me living here is making sure that he does, you know, I gotta trust him to do it, right?
Yeah.
But if he stops taking it and he decides to tell me otherwise,
you're gonna do
unless I'm watching him do it, which, you know, a lot of
that's tough, man.
Does he know that he's got problems.
He completely understands.
Yeah, because that's another issue. If you know someone who thinks they're perfectly normal and they're not.
He was diagnosed at 16 years old, so I think he's had a long time now to get used to it, and he kind of understands that his brain doesn't work like everybody else's.
Is it like was it hormonal that kind of triggered it, or was he like picking to weed? It's an imbalance
in the brain, isn't it? It's
right.
a chemical imbalance.
Okay.
So the brain does things that our brains don't do. He hallucinates. He sees things that aren't there. He hears things that aren't there. When we talk about voices could be anything. They could be a ticking of a clock. They could be a suggestive voice. They could be just a voice saying words that aren't even words. He hears things that aren't even words.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you think about it for too long, how fucking terrifying is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, so that's why when I talk about, you know, he gets up and he lives his life, I think, you know, it's all well and good. People, like, I appreciate when people say, oh, you're such a good brother, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm nothing. He gets up and does it every day.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I don't know. Could I cope if I had it? I don't know. When you talk about the ADHD thing, I've had people say to me recently that they thought I was neurospicy, right? And like almost assumed I was. And I was just like, no, I don't think I am. But do I feel like I need to go and get a test to see if I am ADHD, if I am on some sort of autistic spectrum? No, I'm all right.
Did you? I ended up getting an ADHD diagnosis by accident.
Right.
Yeah, you were getting your bum tested, weren't you, or something?
I mean, that's been the last 12 months of my life.
Okay. Didn't you accidentally go in the library and you thought it was Specsavers and you ended up getting fucking the diagnosis?
Took my trousers down.
What happened?
My trousers down and said, I think I need an ADHD assessment.
bent over the library desk.
And I'm not leaving the library till I get one, basically.
Yeah.
Please, sir, not again. We told you last week.
I went to get a COVID jab, and I turned up at the wrong place. I turned up at the GP surgery, and the girl
were they handing out ADHD assessments?
Yeah, she said, "Don't worry, I'll organise another test for you." And I said, "Okay, that's great." And then I get an email saying you've been set up for an ADHD assessment. And I'm like, what was it about my behaviour in the GP surgery that made you think
to be checked out?
But I'd got nothing else to do, so I filled it in, and then I got diagnosed with ADHD. Now I'm on tablets.
And I do wonder. I mean, I guess that, you know, when I work, I do get hyper focused. I guess. I mean, there's little things I could probably sort of attribute to being ADHD in my normal everyday life, but I don't think that my life is horrendously affected.
No, I think the thing. I mean, my younger brother got diagnosed this year as well, and I swear to God, my mum definitely has got it. I spent a weekend with her a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, oh yeah, now I can totally see where this comes from, basically.
Yeah. I had the same thing. Sorry, you continue, and then I'll tell you. Hold on.
Yeah, it's quite often the case, I think. And then, you know, some of the traits and some of the ways that you learn to mask it, you learn from your parents because they've got it already, basically. And when you start to work all that out, the fascinating thing for me has been after 58 years or 57 years when I got the diagnosis was just the remarkable way that I'd managed to manage. It's like you sit back and look at it and just go, okay, actually, with all those things thrown at you, it explains an awful lot of the crap you did as a younger person.
Oh, yeah. No,
but also you can be quite proud of yourself for going, actually, I invented some ways around this. And it, you know, they're pretty good.
Channeled it into productive shit. But so I got my diagnosis in January, and I've now got been showing this on my show. I've got my thing, you know, that you put around your arm and it expands.
Your blood pressure testing.
That's it, blood pressure testing. And I'm gonna start getting medication next month.
I got one too.
Oh yay!
Hey,
how
exciting! I have a high blood pressure. I'm old.
I don't keep mine on my desk, but I do that. But you see, Aid, you're right, because one of the problems that you're about to face, Graham, with this is that they diagnose the tablets for you. I don't know what milligrams they're going to come up for you with, but I get 5 milligrams a day. and I'm told by the pharmacist that some students here are on about 120 milligrams a day of it's meth. I mean, it's methamphetamine basically that they're giving you.
Is it?
So yeah, and
now Aid's ears pick up. He's like, oh really?
Definitely
Get that for
free.
Free drugs, you say?
But what they do is they'll give you a prescription, which I think is for a month. And then you have to, after every 3 months, you have to send blood pressure and weight in, else they won't actually prescribe it. Every month, they quite often ask me for that for a new prescription. And one of the problems with an ADHD person is that doing admin is a terrifying thing. Like it's just one of those things that you don't even want to start, and even a very simple admin task. I've found this week, because I've gone through some stuff that meant I had to do a load of admin, and once I got over the terror barrier, I could do anything, absolutely any piece of admin. What I should have done was advertise my services for 3 days in hyper-focus mode and go, I can do your admin, it's no problem, it's fantastic, watch this. But the problem with the tablet thing is that you have to weigh yourself, take a photo of that, do your blood pressure, take a photo of that, post it to a website before they'll give you the tablets. And as an ADHD person, you leave it till the last possible tablet. You get down to the last tablet and you go, fuck, I'm supposed to have done all that stuff, basically. And then you go into hyper-focus mode, and then you're sitting there in a panic of anxiety thinking, what if I don't have any tablets tomorrow? What am I going to do? And you think it just makes the whole thing worse for about 3 days, unless you get a masking process and a calendar process, which I've now had to put in place, where I've got post-it notes left for myself in places just saying, Mike, remind yourself in 2 days' time to do this thing, basically.
I don't even pay attention to the reminders, though. It's like I've been putting off the car insurance. Like for I've had reminders for weeks, days. I've set alerts up to remind me about the reminders. Yeah. And it's just ticked on until finally, inevitably, predictably, it says, congratulations, you've renewed your Tesco, like auto renewed the Tesco card.
Yeah, for like £900. And you're like, what?
Yeah. I still don't know how much I'm paying. Now I'm scared to look at it.
Yeah.
Well, I had an issue with the bills in the house.
And you've got to stop. They're set up for ADHD, aren't they?
You forget. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No,
I had a thing this week where I had to go and look at my bills for a reason. And suddenly I'm, for the first time, opening up statements and everything else and looking at all this stuff. And I thought, hang on, I'm paying a bloody fortune for some of this stuff. Well, how is that?
I still haven't opened my private eyes that arrived while I was away.
Well, it turns out, and this is the thing, this is a problem with our current rent your life society, effectively, subscribe to your life, is that the way they work, like your phone contract, if you just leave it to roll over after its 18-month or 24-month period, they can put it up every single month if they want. They can keep it. Only just changed that they can only do it by £5 a year now, but before that they could put it up to anything. So my mobile phone had gone from £17 a month to £42 a month because I'd left it for 18 months after the contract had rolled over. And the same with the gas and electricity and everything else. If you don't pay attention, they're just allowed to keep bumping the price up every year, basically. And it's for a service that's shit. My broadband, ridiculous. They did exactly the same with the broadband.
Yeah. They rely on people having ADHD, so they can make loads of money out of it.
ADHD and I think if you think about it now, if you just shut your bank account down and stopped paying for all the things that it's paying for every month, you'd lose all the TV channels that you watch. You'd lose all your content online in terms of Dropbox or Google One or Microsoft, whatever it is that's storing all your stuff, basically, all your old photos, etc., etc. Like, you are literally renting your own life at the moment.
Yeah.
For subscriptions every month. And they're trying to do that with everything now. I have software that I've used for 30 years, and suddenly they've all flipped over to charging you an annual fee to keep using their shitty software, basically. And you're like, there's a part of me who wants to go off grid and just download a bunch of software and movies and just go and live in a caravan somewhere.
Do you know what? I would do that in a second, Mike. I'm like, I have this fantasy. I think we were talking about it in the WhatsApp group, wasn't I? I was like, don't destroy my post-divorce fantasy. I just want to rent a barge. Just let me rent a barge and have a laptop and a fridge full of beer, and I'm happy. But no, I was going to say, I can say a minute
Although
ago about, like,
you've got to pay to park the damn thing in the water, basically.
yeah, I'll have to subscribe to the fucking
having
barge.
having
No.
done that, because I had like a midlife crisis in reverse, because that was my life. I was living on my own with a fridge full of beer and a laptop on my island.
On a barge?
No, well, it was on an island, even better. I had a boat, so I could get on.
How is that better than the barge? I'm confused.
He could have had his own barge if he wanted to.
Yeah.
He's got a landing jetty.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
was gonna say the island couldn't
Right.
sink, but but anyway,
But it is.
but it is. But yeah, I was lonely. I was lonely, Aid. So you know, there's that.
But that's why you've developed politics social and these parasocial relationships that you now enjoy or endure.
yes.
Parasitical, almost.
Parasitical
Yeah.
relationships.
If only I
Parasitical,
knew you when you were a
parasocial.
lonely man drinking beer all by yourself. I could have kept you company.
You
Graham,
could have
for a
done, but
little
no.
while.
During the daytime, there's usually people there. It was just at nighttime, everyone left, and I was just
Well,
on my own.
what I like to do is usually a nighttime activity. So
Yeah.
I could
Cards
have,
Against
you know,
Humanity, Exploding Kittens,
Oh,
Uno,
what? Uno.
Jenga,
There you go.
Jenga,
Beer.
that's the one.
Jenga. I knew it'd be something.
Lots of wood.
Lots of wood.
Can I just express, like, I'm desperate to get this out. Right. So, we were talking about
You
ADHD
could
and, like, our parents.
Is Aid going to start lactating?
Here we go. Like,
Here we
Aid's
go.
on
Here we
now.
go.
Let's
Come on.
do this.
I don't want to get you more demonetized than I already do. No, so I was talking to my brother a few months ago about the ADHD stuff, and we were talking about my dad, and I was like, do you ever wonder if, like, the old man might be actually full-blown autistic? And my brother's just like, it has crossed my mind. And I said, so let me share with you guys the experience that I've had with my father. He, like, way back in the day when he was a kid, like 10 or 11 years old, he was obsessed with trolley buses, right? East London trolley buses. And he would note down the numbers, the routes of every single trolley bus. And, like, he would go out and look at them and then just list.
So this is your dad?
This is my dad when he was like 10 years old. And then as he got into adulthood, he got massively into music. Cool, quite creative, fine. But he also has memorized who was at number one every single week. Like, he could tell you who was at number 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever in the top 10.
Scott, who may have some expertise on this subject, wants to interject.
My brother has notebooks of lists.
Really?
Notebooks.
Here you go,
Notebook,
right?
List after list. After
Yes.
list after
So you feel this. And
I feel that. I know it explicitly. Gary, my brother can tell you who released an album in 1986, and,
Right.
and who the drummer was. It's insane.
and
the things he'll
like,
tell me.
yeah, and a memory for dates that is like near photographic. He'll be like, oh yeah, that was in like 1972, about sort of May 20th. Like, he just
Your dad
fucking
definitely
knows.
has autism.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I've
100%.
said this to my brother, and I've said it to my. Oh, the other thing is he's, when we talk to him, he's conversationally pleasant, fine, civil, never really fully present in the way that we are when we talk to each other now. If I talk to him, it doesn't feel like he's actually like in the conversation. It feels like he's a participant. He's in attendance, but he's not really taking it in. It's not transactional. I can't really explain it, but it's like, it just feels very, very not even neurodivergent, like further along than that. So
Possibly.
I've said this to my mum. I'm like, have you ever wondered, like, so they're split, right? They divorced when they were like, I was like 4. And I've said,
She wanted to talk to somebody. She wanted to be present in the room.
Yeah, probably. I said, have you ever wondered if the old man was like autistic? And she clapped back immediately, shut it straight down. She was like, your father is not autistic. Jesus, like, I'm making a big deal out of it or something. And I came away and I told my brother about it. I was like, the old dear doesn't think that he's autistic at all. She can't see that. And I really think that's interesting. Is it a generational thing that they are completely unfamiliar with what
Yes.
these conditions are.
Yes.
Could
Yeah.
be that.
Yes.
But I
How
also
old,
think
how old are your parents?
they're boomers.
Right.
Right.
Your
they're like-
mom thinks Rain Man is autistic,
exactly.
Yeah.
right?
I think
She doesn't see someone who's functioning in life with a job
Yeah.
and all that as being an autistic person.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is
I-
where
Yeah.
the
You're right.
this is where I'm sorry to interrupt. This is where we are now with the whole boomers. Everyone thinks they're autistic. Everyone thinks they're ADHD. Go get a job. You know, and that is not the case. You're not autistic. Go get a job. You know, people think that Dustin Hoffman's going to come around the corner and start quoting numbers. That's a severe autism. That is like that's an exception, right?
Yeah. And everything's on a gradient. Everything's on,
It's
like
a
your sight is on a
spectrum.
gradient. Your hearing is on a fucking gradient. The sharpness
It's a
of your teeth is on a
spectrum.
fucking gradient.
Somebody told me recently that the way that they prefer to look at it, rather than calling autism a spectrum, so that there are two ends of it, like there's mild and severe, that they actually refer to it almost as like this amorphous blob. So if you think about a sphere,
I'm on the blob.
these-
Hang on, that's something
yeah, with
else.
these, if you think of a sphere with pointy bits, like a coronavirus almost.
Yeah.
But the idea is that everybody has got a certain number of consistent traits in
Yeah.
autism. And then there are extremes in all sorts of different directions, basically. So you could be somewhere along one of the blobby arms of this thing,
Well,
but
I like that.
you've all got that common ball in the middle.
I really liked, soon after my diagnosis, there was a call in on James O'Brien talking about ADHD. And someone called in and said that they getting the diagnosis allowed them to forgive themselves for stupid shit they've done in the past. And I completely related with that. And the fact that my brother and his son have also been diagnosed with ADHD, it's also helped me forgive my dad for being a twat at times.
Yeah.
No offense, Mum, if you're watching this, but like, you know, he was problematic when I was a kid. You know, he'd get into crazy rages about daft things. He was quite OCD about where things had to go. And I understand
Me
now
too.
that there was mental health issues going on, but he wasn't even a fucking boomer. He was part of the silent generation. He's even older than that. So like they didn't even think you were autistic. You were just quiet. ADHD was just naughty, and dyslexia was just you can't fucking spell. But before we come to Mike, Paula Thomas has dropped the first super chat in of the evening. Thank you. I thought we were going to go for a free session then, but thank you very much to Paula for dropping
we're
£5
giving you
in.
quality content here. We are
Finally.
spilling
We're
our
opening our
fucking
hearts.
guts.
Spilling our
Jesus.
guts. Please pay for our therapist.
Pay my ass.
Paul Darrick, the great British physicist whose work Einstein had difficulty with, was probably autistic. Yeah, I think there's quite a few.
I think probably some of the biggest minds, geniuses. We always talk about genius being, 2 steps from insanity and things like that. There's that. I think that's your middle ground, right?
Yeah.
I think Isaac Newton had problem relating to people. I mean, you talk about hyperfocus after writing on the origin of species. Didn't Charles Darwin spend like 5 years studying earthworms or something mad?
Yeah.
Like he just like that was it. That was his
Yeah,
new
that's not
hyperfocus.
hyperfocus. I don't know what is.
I know
right?
exactly. So and then you've got Alan Turing, and also
Turing definitely had some issues.
yeah.
Well, he was a homosexual.
Oh
wasn't he?
God, yeah. I mean,
I thought they fixed that, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
fixed that?
They do. They cut your balls off.
They made him.
don't
I love
They
that.
gave
Like,
him
it's
chemical
described as an
castration.
issue.
They made him take estrogen.
I am an issue, okay?
Oh no, actually, did they make him have estrogen or testosterone?
He had chemical castration.
No, they
He
cut his
volun-
balls off, or they
No.
chemical
It was chemical.
It was chemical. Sorry.
Wow.
But yeah,
They cut them off.
How
Well, it was either
fucking
that or prison, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That was the-
yeah.
Which is fucked
And
up.
at the time, he was like, "What the fuck?"
When you think about it,
I
Scott,
saved your
give
country,
me.
goddammit.
I don't want to do this sort of, without your backing on this, basically. But when you think about the choice, you either go to prison with a bunch of men, or we chemically castrate you. I'm not entirely sure when homosexuality was
prison,
illegal that you kind of
I'm
go.
going to prison.
I might take the
Hi.
prison.
I'm gonna make my makeup out of my fucking magic marker and my pen, and I'm gonna put some lippy on, and I'm gonna have a great
But
time.
he
Feels like
got burgled by a guy who he brought home, And when he reported to the police, he was like, I've been burgled. Or some guy I brought home. Why'd you bring him home? Oh, we were having sex. And he just didn't seem to think that was a problem. Because
I think that was probably the biggest indication of autism.
Yeah.
It was just,
It's not understanding the social norms of that time.
Yeah.
But that I mean, I'm so glad we've moved on from that era, but we're still getting
I was going to say, before I do, we should talk about Darian to start. And he's very generous.
I wanted to, yes. Darian, thank you so much for the £20 super chat. That's a big super chat of the day, I think. Neurodivergence for the win. You see, get yourself diagnosed, and then you can join our little Neuro Spicy gang.
I'm not part of it. I'm not part of the Spicy.
I'm not going to get diagnosed or go on medication. It's probably the wrong. Like, I feel like everyone knows the right choice for them, and I just feel like I'm gonna.
Hey, you might be right. I think you're right on the glasses thing if you've managed, as long as you're not allowed to drive.
Well, of course he drives.
He's essentially blind, basically.
I think. Do you know what it is? Like,
still driving.
I've got quite.
But hey, if Dominic Cummings can do it, so can Aid.
Yeah.
I've got quite a bleak worldview, and I imagine that if you go on these medications, psychological meds, that if the world all really did implode, if there was a real civil collapse, and I couldn't get hold of whatever medication I was now reliant on, and I had some sort of spiraling meltdown, that worries me. I'm like, I have to be able to get hold of this. Like, my other half is on a medication, not for ADHD, but something else. And I'm like, if one of us is out of the picture, that's handleable. But if both of us are like crashing out,
it's
funny.
Can't
get hold of something.
I used to worry about being washing up on a desert island without my glasses. That's so frustrating.
Right. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
I'd be picking up crabs thinking they were rocks and get my fingers nipped off.
Thank God you
think about the
various
chemotherapies I've had for the leukemia. And I've gone through 3 different phases of treatment for that over 12 years. And the ones I always chose in the beginning were the ones that they did a year of reasonably intense chemo to get it under control. And then you had a period of not taking tablets, because I don't like taking tablets. It's not that I can't take tablets. I can. I'm fine with it. It's just I don't like being reminded twice a day that I've got something wrong with me. That was my main reason.
Yeah.
But I've kind of sat there and worked this out. If you work it out economically, it's in the pharmaceutical company's interest to have you on tablets for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
When you've got an NHS, going back to what Scott was saying, the benefit of the NHS is we all get treated. But the other thing is, if you look at it with the greedy eyes of a pharmaceutical company, is you go, well, I don't want something that cures leukemia in a year. Where the fuck do we get money from next year, basically?
Yeah.
So what they want to do is manage leukemia with tablets forever. And those tablets are costing, I think they're about £800 a month if I had to pay for them, basically. Yeah. So you can just see the logic of trying to get you on tablets forever. And if you look at then the ADHD boom in terms of diagnosis, all of these people going on meth now,
that's
the pharma companies are going,
I mean,
this
is
awesome.
Down in my basement with the chemistry set I got.
There was a guy who did it out in a trailer in a desert. I saw a whole TV show
so
about
it.
Trying to pay for his medical bills. He was trying to pay for his ADHD medication, which ironically was crystal meth. But yeah,
guys, I got to run.
Oh no! Was it something I said?
Yeah,
about your dad.
Lots.
And his balls.
You know what? When you started talking about your dad and you were getting very serious about it, it was really hard for me to keep a straight face at first. I don't know if you noticed. I started laughing because all I kept thinking about was his
dad's balls.
Eight's dad's balls, which we're all obsessed with.
I was totally thinking about his balls.
That is all your fault.
Where is this all going to weave into his
my dad's autistic balls? Just 2 balls, making lists.
Checking them twice. They're exchanging them. Having to look at the other. Marking each other's homework.
Well, look, and Aid, thank you so much for coming on tonight, mate.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing about your dad. And I hope when I sat there and went, he's definitely autistic. My brother has loads of notebooks full of lists. I mean, I'm no doctor,
It's all good. It's all good. Everyone's got their thing, haven't they? That they're trying to handle or get through. And some of it's easy.
Go get yourself some crystal meth, man. Go get yourself some speed. Come on, get some speed down your blouse.
Don't tempt me.
If I'm going to give you one bit of advice on this, seriously, if it's something that bothers you, you are honestly thinking about this because you've you've expressed it, then just go and do it. And then if you don't want to be on medication,
Yeah, you don't have to be.
have to be.
But you might
That's the
change
point,
some of
actually.
your routines to accommodate for knowing that that's the way your brain works. So you're not constantly trying to push water up a hill, which is what I tried to do, like trying to be normal. And now I know that there's certain things I need. And Catherine helps me with it. And it's stuff like she'll put a glass of water on my desk in the morning because otherwise I'll start my show without it. And I'll be yapping on for an hour and a half. And then I'll be like, oh my God, I can't even fucking breathe because my mouth's so dry. But Kat's on it because she knows I'll forget. Little things like that. Thanks,
You're
Kat.
lucky to have a cat.
I'm
We should
really-
let Aid go. This is one of those long goodbyes.
All right, bye.
Yeah, right.
Bye.
I gotta go.
Love
Take
you.
care, guys.
Bye.
Bye, mate.
Bye.
Cheers, brother.
Later.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice
We've
to
got a
see you too.
super
Bye.
chat from Di, so thank you very much for that.
Thanks, Di.
20 quid there. Turing test was wrong. It wasn't a test of AI, just of machine learning. We don't have AI yet, just human imitation. More importantly, we don't need it. We already have 7 billion units of underused real intelligence. Well, yeah. I mean,
Very
your
true.
mileage may vary on that 7 billion.
Yeah.
Christy said,
subscribe to some ADHD people.
Yeah.
That would be paid. $7 a month. I'll just throw you 1,000 ideas every day, basically. It's like-
Chris C saying, just watching Breaking Bad, learning how to make meth. One of the things they do in Breaking Bad, and I also did this in the first run of Dexter, is they would fuck things up on purpose. So if anyone copied what Dexter was doing or anyone tried to copy what Walter White was doing, they'll fuck it up. And they did it on purpose so that you couldn't watch the show and then get away with murder or get away with creating
because
methamphetamine.
people would pick up on it, and then it would be publicized or
They'd be sued.
exposed as being
They'd be sued.
Yeah. So you're watching like Dexter and you're like, oh, you'll never get away with that. Yeah, you really wouldn't get away with it. Like you couldn't go back to the crime scene when it was your flat.
Like you got time to plastic up the whole fucking house.
It'll take about 8 hours just to do that.
Making multiple rooms of plastic sheeting. Come on.
And the thing is,
doing
Scott,
that in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like most
Staple
people
gun.
don't know this, but if you honestly, when you do try that a couple of times, you know,
You just get really quick at it. Do you know what I mean?
and you
get
just
really
think,
efficient.
in the end, it's
You get
just
quite
not
quick
worth
at
it.
it.
Just kill them and
It's like
leave them
learning
in the
how to
street.
drive. Eventually,
It's a lot easier.
Your feet will get the hang of it, and you will
Kill-
be able
kill
to go
them.
from first
Agatha
to second.
Christie was asked how to commit the perfect murder, and she said people try and make them really complicated, and that's why they always get caught. I go for a walk every day with my husband along the cliffside, and one day, if I wanted to, I'd just push him off. That's it. He fell. No witnesses. Even better, on a boat. Push him off a boat. That's what happened to Robert Maxwell.
Robert Maxwell,
fell
yeah.
off a boat. Was anyone ever done for that? Oh, the actress Natalie Wood. She fell off a
Was
boat.
she on the boat?
Yeah, she fell off a boat with fucking Christopher Walken was on the boat, wasn't he? And he's never really talked about what happened. You know, there's a big Hollywood scandal about this from like the 1970s. Was this a fever dream of mine, or was this?
This is very much like Michael Barrymore's swimming pool, I think.
Natalie Wood's death. There you go. Natalie Wood's death. What was the cause of death? Officially ruled as an accidental drowning after she was found in the water off Catalina Island in 1981. Her husband, Robert Wagner, was named a person of interest in the case after investigators noted inconsistencies in his account and reports of a fight on the boat before she disappeared.
Yeah.
Anyway, we shouldn't be giving people advice on how to get away with murder. That's right. Just
falling out of
chop
windows.
them up in full
falling
view
off
of
a
everyone
boat.
in the street, and then try and bury them in the patio.
There's an argument, isn't there, that if you just like most people in Britain certainly would just ignore you if you did that.
What if you were murdering people in the streets?
Just do it in plain sight, basically. And then just go,
Like,
what are you looking at?
Let's not say anything.
They go,
Let's not say anything.
Terribly sorry. You were just making a noise. That's
Yeah,
all.
but they'll get whenever they put someone in a shallow grave, they always get found by dog walkers. Just bury someone like deep and where dog walkers don't go.
Bury them deep, and then get a sniper rifle and take out all the dogs for about 3 weeks. Easily fixed.
Yeah, but I think that the problem is that most murders are not meticulously planned in advance like they are in the whodunits. You know, Isn't it weird though that we have a genre of like whodunit? It's like murder is a horrific act it is one of the most horrific acts that a human can commit against another human. And we have this like whimsical Thursday murder club joke, only murders in the building about it. We don't have that about rape, do we?
No. Are you pitching this?
No, I'm fucking not pitching, mate. That would be so wrong on so many levels.
It's
a bit odd, isn't it?
Is it like,
It's like, look at us, we're murdering people.
Graham Hughes, the Thursday Rape Club.
Yeah, basically. It was you. You got me on murder. I confess. I mean, it's actual like a horrific crime.
It is the whole obsession with true crime and the documentaries and the films of these things. Basically, when you think about it, that's got to be quite a dangerous thing for society in general, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really gruesome.
It's the most popular programming on any of the streaming services.
I think one of the streaming services got the Ed Gein story is now a documentary. Have you watched it?
Yeah, loved it.
So Ed Gein is the guy that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter, Psycho, and about 17 other fictional killers throughout history, throughout cinema history, were based on this one guy because he was that fucking nuts.
And did you watch it? Sorry, did you?
No, I've not watched. I know about Ed Gein. I know who he is. Like,
it's very Ryan Murphy. He incorporates all of the stories of those movies within the intertwining of the story of Ed Gein.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually, I thought it was kind of interesting in that respect, but at the same time, a little part of me like we're getting like this is Ed Gein thing happening, and then all of a sudden I'm like, why are we talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? But
there's a theory, isn't there, that people watch these things to try and work out how close they are to doing it. That's kind of what the fascination with true crime is looking at other humans to work out actually what is it about them that's different to me.
No, for me it's more about watching those things. It's
more it could just be me, Scott. I'm just watching it going, how close am I to being a serial killer?
I'm trying to work out how someone could do this.
I don't like it. I get really squeamish and a bit scared. I really don't like it.
You watch horror movies, don't you?
Yeah, but I know that's fake. I'm watching it going, that's tomato ketchup. That's not a real head.
I can't watch horror movies. I do because I'm
horror movie.
I know lots of people that are. I just really can't.
Elle in the chat saying, "I love dicks. I want a dicks podcast. Can we have Mike? Can we have a?
I'll host it.
Can we have a podcast called I Love Dicks?
It is
please.
Not the subject of it.
Go on, come on, that would be awesome. Scott can be your co-host.
I can talk.
We love dicks. There you go. There's your name there, mate. You make a fortune.
Talk about dick all day long.
Yeah, I could have my coffee mug that says
30
30
minutes of us agreeing disagreeably about various dicks.
Private dicks, people call Richard, and penises.
And knobs.
But yeah, I get the whole true crime. I get the fascination with it. It is like a morbid fascination, isn't it? The one thing that keeps me sort of a little bit buoyant is the fact that it's just so fucking rare. It's so rare that these nutters do it. And the number of serial killers has gone off a cliff in the last 20 years. No one's serial killing anymore because they just can't get away with it.
Towards,
also, less lead.
Like this, the politics bit of Politics Social. There's this idea, isn't there, that Stephen... I've been watching some stuff
about
Stephen
hour and 10 minutes in, we finally start talking about some politics.
Stephen Miller is...
We really got to pivot at some point.
Yeah. Marina Corina Machado won the Nobel Peace Prize.
What I love in the chat at the moment is the number of people suggesting names for a podcast with my name in it, and they're all being blocked automatically.
That's hysterical.
Love it.
So the theory at the moment is that the reason that Trump has sent the troops into Portland in particular is that Stephen Miller is just showing Trump AI videos of riots going on and burning streets.
We were talking about this. I could not believe that concept, and I still can't get my head around it when Graham explained that on Tuesday or Monday when we did stateside.
Yeah, they make videos for him to watch.
Because
you can't read.
Crazy to me.
I mean, it certainly makes sense of everything, doesn't it, that we're seeing? But when you look into, I watched the Hysteria podcast about Stephen Miller, and the guy is,
well, he's nuts.
I mean, he's a nut job, and he's complete. I mean, a total fascist. Always has been, completely, always been a total fascist. And there's videos of him from college saying, where he's pro-torture. And pro-torture for American citizens as much as anybody else as well. And he's literally just trying to introduce Nazism to Trump. And he's doing it just by the simple process of sucking up to Trump and then kind of gaslighting him, with these videos and these stories that he's feeding Trump constantly. And that's what's feeding this narrative of
such a fucked up looking fella.
Really?
Like, he does look like
Gollum. He was clearly picked on at school. Like, he's a funny fucker.
No, Scott, he was the bully at school.
Oh, was he?
So he has claimed in his life that he was bullied at school, but there is testimony from everybody in his school, everybody that ever came across him at school, that he was the bully, and he was a racist bully. He literally. One of his best friends was Hispanic when he was 10 or 11. And then what's the transition to high school in the States?
From junior high to high school.
Right. So he basically wrote a letter to this friend at the age of 11 and said, I can no longer be your friend. It's primarily because you're Hispanic. And here are the reasons why I can't be your friend anymore. And it was all about the Hispanic. And he would turn up outside Hispanic meetings in the colleges and schools, and he would protest them and bully people on the outside of them constantly. He put in petitions, he wrote letters constantly to the school and complained about teachers that would speak Spanish to Spanish-speaking students. He has a massive problem with Latinos, and that's what he's translating into Trumpland right now. So all the evidence is there that this guy is the guy that's running the White House.
Yeah, he is.
He's an evil,
and he's using the sack of blancmange as his way of achieving it.
But
because he's
Jewish, isn't he?
Because the one thing is,
isn't he Jewish?
His parents,
demented. Like,
his parents left Eastern Europe after during the pogroms, basically, to go to America. I mean. So he's the son of immigrants, basically, of an immigrant Jewish family.
Does he think that the Nazis, the KKK, right? They're not just the anti-black gang; they're also the anti-Jewish gang. Like, they are the leading anti-Semitic organization of the United States of America. And he's sucking up to the KKK. Do you think that once they've wiped out all the black people and all the brown people, they're going to go, we'll leave the Jews be, shall we? Fucking happen, what a fucking lemon. He was born in 1985. He's younger than me.
And literally, the logical thing is that he always wanted to be popular. That was his thing. And he just couldn't, because he's not at all cool in any way, shape, or form. And also was spouting this Nazi racist crap constantly at school, so nobody wanted to fuck him. And then he's literally then just gone, okay, Trump's popular, I will just hide behind Trump. That's what I'm going to do. The man's a psychopath. He's a complete psychopath.
And a fucking idiot, because he thinks that the Nazis are going to be nice to him. It's like the guy, Timothy Treadwell. I can't get this guy's out my head. The movie Grizzly Man, Werner Herzog, is a documentary about this guy from like Florida or somewhere who used to go up to Alaska every fucking summer to go and live with the bears. Right? Because he thought the bears were his friends. He thought the bears were nice little cute pets that just wanted a little bit of a hug. And one day he went up there and a bear came in the middle of the night and fucking ate him. Because a bear is a fucking wild animal that eats humans for food. Because he doesn't see a friend. He doesn't go, oh, friend. He sees a fucking hunk of meat. And when these racists in the KKK see someone like Stephen Miller, they're like, oh, he's a good one. Fuck that. They'll kill him. They'll kill fucking Einstein. They'll kill fucking anyone who's getting in their way.
Well, they'll use them. Yeah, I mean, they'll happily use them to get what they want. The ultimate ambition is to abuse democracy to get into a position of authority and then kill the voting process. That's what Miller is trying to do. That's what Project 2025 is all about. And he's being, I don't think he realizes he's being used as a tool for those people, basically, that will happily then sit there and weed people like him out.
Can we talk a little bit about Trump not getting the Peace Prize, please? Because that was the title of the show today.
Trump didn't get the Peace Prize.
Yeah, woo! He was never going to get the Peace Prize. I mean, do you just?
I've made it. I did, just on that, on a personal note, I'm Graham. You very kindly proof checked my book, which is coming out in 2 weeks' time.
You very kindly proof checked my report about accessibility at the Labour Party conference.
And
Scott, what have you done for us?
What have you done for me lately?
Of your pants.
But I realised that you did a great job on proof checking, except there is one joke in there that at the time I realised I'd made a mistake. And I had Trump on the phone with a nuclear button on his desk saying, "Hey, is that Sweden? Give me the Nobel Peace Prize, or there's going to be hell to pay." And at the time, everybody on social media went, "What do you mean Sweden? It's bloody Norway, you idiot." And I've left that joke in and sent it to print.
It's fine.
Basically.
Honestly, I only learnt this week that it's Norway that decides that, because all the others are Sweden. It's just the one prize out of the 6 that comes from Norway for some reason. I don't even know what the history of. I've never read up about the history of it.
I'm putting it down to the fact that Trump wouldn't get the country right anyway.
Yeah,
the war with
there you go.
Sweden
Exactly. So yeah, no, I think you got it right.
But has he had a reaction yet? Have we seen a reaction to it? Because
MAGA is going nuts. MAGA is going fucking cray, going, "How dare you not give him the Peace Prize," and all this bullshit. But I don't think he said anything.
No, because I saw the presentation in Norway, and a journalist asked, Trump has campaigned for this. Many people have asked for this. Netanyahu has asked for Trump to get it. Why did the committee feel any pressure? And the guy representing the committee said, "We have never given in to any kind of public pressure for the Peace Prize. In fact, there is no history of anybody ever campaigning to get the Peace Prize for themselves that's ever got it."
Yeah.
And
it's like writing your own Wikipedia page, isn't it? It's never going to work. It's never going to stick. Hey, yeah, you know where Macron's just fucking... This is new breaking news. He's just appointed the new prime minister.
Who's he?
Oh, yeah, because the other one lasted a month.
Yeah. So you never guess who's appointed as new prime minister?
Not that big.
Tony Blair?
The guy who just resigned, Lekonu. He's reinstated him as the prime minister.
But didn't he quit?
Yeah, he quit, and now he's just been reinstated.
How does he do that?
He quit on Monday, and he's back in the job.
That's insane.
Didn't that happen with Priti Patel? Was it Priti Patel, or was it Suella Braverman?
Yeah.
What was Home Secretary, and then
she quit, and then
she quit and came back a week later.
Yeah.
She's like, I've learned. Lessons been learned. It's like when you get suspended.
Was
from
over
school.
Over connections to Israel, wasn't it?
Yes. So the other news this week from the States, apart from Trump not getting the fucking prize, was Letitia James has had her. She's been indicted along with James Comey.
Yeah,
of course she is.
Yeah, so
he's going after them all. He's gonna try.
She's been indicted, right? So here's the story. She bought a second home up in upstate New York or somewhere, and she said that she was going to use it as a second home. But when they actually got it, they decided they were going to rent it out to a family. And apparently, you get a different interest rate depending on what the function of the property is going to be. And by doing this, she may have saved herself $18,000.
This is like an Angela Rayner story, isn't it?
Meanwhile, while Trump has been president, so just since the beginning of this year, the end of January this year, it's estimated to have made $10 billion from all the backhanders and the cheats and the bribes the plane that he got from Qatar.
Talking of which, Nigel Farage has made £1.2 million in the last 12 months from 12 jobs.
Fucking rat bag. And all of the people...
12 jobs on top of being the MP for Clacton.
Yeah, yeah. And all these people around here who are like, yeah, he's one of us. Yeah.
I genuinely... There's a massive disconnect for me on why people can look at somebody like Farage and say he's got my interests, a plumber from Epping or whatever, basically, that I'm just like Farage. He knows me, he knows what I'm about. You think, no, you're so wrong. He's a privately educated stockbroker or commodities trader. He's then been a lifelong politician and a grifter. And you don't do those things. That's not what you do. I don't understand why people would look at Farage and think that he's got any answers for them. I just don't get it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But I never got why they would do the same with Boris. You know, like you can go. It's a deference.
But it's a thing to have a posh mate in it because they assume that posh mate will buy you a drink in the pub.
I guess that's what it is. Yeah.
And
they must be more intelligent than me because they're earning more money, and it's okay for them to cheat the system because I'd cheat the system if I had the opportunity.
If I had the money, I'd be a bastard. Yeah. But and people respect gangsters. They always have and always will. That's why
it's true.
In Medellin, what's his name? Pablo Escobar. He was revered in some areas. Even though he blew up a fucking plane full of children. But he built a local football pitch.
Yeah, the craze is still. You go into a barber shop in Brighton. There's almost always a photo of the craze or something.
Never have a bad word to say about them. Oh, they were great to me.
They were lovely.
They used to come out and nail my head to the table each week. And one time I said, "Could you not nail my head to the table?" And they just tied me to the back of the car and they took me for a drag round the block. Because my mother-in-law was coming round. They were good. They were gentlemen. They only killed. They
came to my wedding. They came to my wedding.
Came to me wedding.
And all they took was my wife.
Yeah. Basically. They took my wife's virginity. But, well, that's the way it was back then. And you tipped your hat and said, right, you are, Reggie.
But boy, they had nice suits.
Oh, they were so well dressed. Those gangsters. So well dressed.
And they knew Barbara Windsor as well.
You knew where you were with them, Except when they had one of their psychopathic fits and decided to smash your pub up for no fucking reason. Because he was
over you and take you out to the woods.
Yeah. And he says he is, on fact, one of them, unfortunately, moral and ethically bankrupt. Yeah, that's very true. Morally and ethically bankrupt. But Farage is doing well at the moment. He's doing well because of the, as far as I can tell, the vacuum that Labour have created by making everyone fucking miserable. And that's what I liked about Zach Polanski's video this week. Even though your mileage may vary, I know Phil Morehouse wasn't so enamoured. But I really enjoyed it. I thought having doing a video saying hope. Wouldn't it be nice to have some hope for a change? I was like, I'm
swinging behind him.
You're swinging.
Well, I'll tell you the reason is I very rarely go and look at the For You tab on Twitter. Right, I just avoid it completely.
I avoid Twitter. How's that?
Yeah, I treat Twitter as a publisher. Basically, I just put things on it and then run away, and don't normally spend any time reading it. But the For You tab is just, the algorithm just constantly pumping reform and right wing people at you all the time. There's a lot of right wing people on Twitter posting about Jack Polanski. About Zach, sorry. There's a lot of them saying, who is this guy? This guy's rubbish. He can't do this thing. And you think, he's obviously hitting a mark somewhere if you're all pissed off about him. So he's cutting through to the other side, which Starmer doesn't do in the same way.
No. Well, Starmer's incapable of doing it. Talking to people on the spectrum, what do you think of Starmer being on the spectrum a bit? Because I've been thinking about this a lot recently, and he comes across as someone who has difficulty. We know he says he never dreams, which is a bit of a weird thing to say, but he has problems creating mental images and... Oh, hello. Hi. We're doing a live stream.
As if to...
Me too.
as if to prove a point.
Yeah.
Cat brings you a glass of water.
Cat brings me a glass of water. She just must have known somehow. I must have sent some smoke signals. No, but the way Keir Starmer reacts to questions and things like that, he's very cool. Like he's not, when he's trying to get emotional about stuff in a speech, it always sounds a bit flat to me. It always sounds a little bit kind of like unemotional. And this isn't like everyone who's autistic. I mean, obviously there are different, a coronavirus shaped spectrum of how people react. But I think that he might be a little bit.
There's certainly something untrainable about him, because I know people that have offered to and have been involved in helping him with media training, and he just doesn't seem to be able to learn that. I know it's a difficult skill if you just don't have it, but he just literally does not have that skill on a stage. He just cannot present himself in any format. If you look at his TikTok videos, they're just embarrassingly awful.
Yes. But I mean,
and it's because he's being. I personally, there's people in the chat saying we shouldn't be defending him, and I'm not, right? Because I think there are ways around it. If you're not a great communicator, the communications people in the Labour Party should find a way to make it work. You know, there are tricks that we could all do, but fundamentally, I think he's constantly making content or even speeches that are just not naturally the way he would talk in any way, shape, or form. It's like, just going back to the really simple level of he sits in a desk with 2 Union Jacks behind him each time, and you just look at any of those videos of him doing that, and you think, you are just fundamentally not the kind of person that would have 2 fucking flags behind his desk. It doesn't look authentic. It looks like you're doing this to please Nigel Farage rather than anybody else.
Yeah, I think you're right. But also, so at the Labour Party conference, I went to the Northern Drinks reception on the Sunday. It's the first thing I went to. And I was only there about 10 minutes before Keir Starmer came in, right? And he gave a speech, and I've got it. I filmed it. And I reckon I should put it online because I think it's really telling, the fact that he's in this little tiny room. There's only about,
and he's good.
30. No, he
he's
wasn't.
Not even in a small room.
30, 40 people there. And he comes out and he does basically a junior version of his main speech that he would go on to deliver a couple of days later. And he was like, that's the difference the Labour government makes, doing this. And there wasn't, and I thought in a small, he wasn't presenting to a camera, he wasn't presenting to a huge auditorium. He was just presenting to a small room of people, but he was very much in a mode, like he was, okay, I've got to do this presentation, I've got to go in, rally the troops, but there was no interpersonality about it. There was no closeness, because you'd expect in such a small room, in such a small forum, that it would be more like this, where it's a bit more conversational. It's a bit like, oh, hi, Jeff. Oh, hi, Gary.
Again, I'm paying deference to the chat that's saying we should stop defending him in any way, basically, or even analysing him to help him.
No, I don't. I honestly don't think he is a bad person. I think Nigel Farage is a bad person. I think that Boris Johnson, Trump, Stephen Miller, Richard Tyson, bad people.
They're bad people, but they're charismatic. They can,
Whereas
they can hold a room, and Keir can't hold a room except for his authority and credibility.
I think in some ways, I think that Starmer's inability to express himself in a way that, like you say, comes across as authentic really does just hold him back from being a great statesperson, because he's just not. He just isn't. Yeah. But then you look back at his history even when you as a see human rights lawyer, and you'll have Femi going, oh yeah, he did that for the money. And I'm like, come on, Femi, if you're going to be a fucking lawyer for the money, you become a corporate lawyer. You work for Coca-Cola.
You don't fight McDonald's.
You don't fight McDonald's. You work for McDonald's.
You defend them.
And not on the fries, mate. Not on the fries. Yeah. But I mean, so having done that, I think his heart is in the right place. But I don't know. His relationship with McSweeney, I think, is problematic. And I think that he has difficulty, perhaps, just thinking outside the box. I think he maybe just, he has his thing in his head, and that's the way it's done. And I don't know if that's I don't think that's a great thing in a Labour leader anyway. And this is why
any leader, if you just look at leadership qualities, he's missing a couple, isn't he? Basically.
Yes. Yeah. But I don't mean I don't think he's a baddie. I don't think he's a raging transphobe. And some people watching this might think I'm being tremendously naive saying that. But I don't think he's J.K. Rowling waking up at 3:00 in the morning in a cold sweat because trans people exist. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that he does that. It's not in his nature. But also, being a great statesperson or being a good orator is not in his nature either, unfortunately.
I think when you watch him in like the White House, and in particular in those press calls or the set pieces that he does, he comes across as like really nervous and
like a rabbit in headlights.
Yeah. And you think, well, no, these are the times you need to stand up and stick your chest out and say, I did this deal because I wanted to save steel workers, etc., etc. It's and it just doesn't seem to communicate with normal people, whereas Farage does somehow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Farage's got the gift of the gab. Or the gob in his case. He's got the gift of the gob. We've lost Scott, he's been off for the last... He's polishing his bowling balls. What's he doing?
Yeah, sorry. I'm I don't know how to say it.
So Scott's gonna say, I just don't give a fuck about Keir Starmer.
Keir Starmer. I was into this when we were talking about dicks, and now
and now you're talking about a dick that I don't like.
Yeah.
There was a guy who used to, I'm sure, come into the chat during these political socials. He used to go by the name of Lord Headweasel. Does anybody in the chat recognize that name?
Headweasel?
Yeah. Does anybody in the chat recognize that name?
No.
I'm pretty sure because do you remember, right? There was a guy a few weeks back. He knew me because I was a friend of one of his exes. Do you remember that?
No. Sorry, my memory's shit, mate. I'm getting old. Sorry.
Okay.
So you're trying to find someone.
If it helps, Scott,
He
Darian
passed away.
DeStar says that Scott has got really good teeth when he smiles.
You should see him close up. They're fucking a mess. that's a computer trick somehow. Like my teeth are all fucked up. They really are.
Did you just say that this guy's passed away?
Oh fuck.
Yeah, so I've literally just found this out.
Sorry, so one of the people did you say on our chat has passed away?
I think so. Yeah. He used to come into the chat.
Oh fuck.
He used to watch this program. And I'm trying to find our show on the fucking YouTube so I can look at the chat. And then I'll see if anybody else remembers him.
What was the name?
Lord Headweasel.
That name doesn't ring a bell. I don't know if it was a different.
Yeah, maybe he had or he also had a name like Glitch. Glitch was one of his other online
I remember
names.
Glitch. I remember someone with Glitch in their name.
Glitch, like with a Y.
That sounds a little bit more familiar than Lord Headweasel.
So Scott, think of Alex Blunt leaving Lord Headweasel, and then his name was like Glitch, Mike Glitch.
This is where we should be mobilizing the community now to do our research.
Here. Yeah.
He used to be in the chat here, and he would do.
Mike Glitch sounds familiar.
This is what I'm asking about. I'm asking. Yeah, because he's passed away.
How'd you find out he passed away?
I'm pretty sure he was in here. Yeah, he passed away. He had a heart attack. He passed away.
Yeah, but
I found out by someone by his ex-girlfriend on my Facebook posting about it.
You had a mutual.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
You have a mutual. You had a mutual.
Yeah, like I had someone in the chat. He used to come in here. Anyway.
Shit, man.
Forget it.
No,
well, I just found out
sad.
an old friend of mine died. It is sad, yeah. It's the second person I've now know in the last 2 months who's been victim of a heart attack.
Jesus.
But I guess the important thing is Alex wants to know, what do I think of Alex Bent leaving Trivium? I'm gutted. He was a great drummer. Why did he leave? But apparently they got a new drummer now who's just as good. So that's all right then. But yeah, sorry. Maybe that was my ADHD. But yeah, no, seriously, just found out someone's passed away.
That you fervently deny that you've got.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm surprised no one's saying anything. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, I'm pretty sure he used to watch the show. So.
Yeah, Lord Headweasel doesn't sound familiar, but the other
Mike
name
Glitch, yeah, Glitch, yeah, with the Y.
sounds a little bit familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fucking shame, isn't it?
That's a shame. It's a sad note. Yeah, like I've literally just seen the, like I said, his ex-girlfriend, who was the person we had in common. Yeah, just posted that he passed away. So,
shit.
And I literally was messaging her while we were talking on the phone. Well, talking on the phone, as you guys were talking on here. And I also bought a couple of albums, which I thought I did on Klarna, but now I've got to pay the full price at the end of the month.
See, this is going back to the you're only renting your life.
What?
So I'm just reading a news story that Hamas have said that they welcome Donald Trump doing the peace deal, but they don't want Tony Blair anywhere near Palestine.
That's fair enough. I wouldn't want
no one can blame him for
Tony
that.
Blair
Really, at the
anywhere
end of the
near
day.
anything, really.
What do we think of this deal?
Right. Yes, I thought that would be the one thing that we would kind
Finally,
of talk
when we
about.
talk about politics for a moment, we might mention it.
I'm sorry, I got everybody morose there for a minute. Right. So just let's do the show. So
MTV set
Yes.
to axe all of its music channels in the UK at the end of the year.
yeah. It's MTV is.
Well, I've not watched it for 25 years, so I don't really
Yeah,
give a
no
fuck.
one else has either.
All
That's why
right,
they
Scott,
keep
go on.
out.
Tell us.
So now, if this really has been the work of Donald Trump, which I think personally he just bullied Netanyahu into doing this, right? Because from what
In
I
order to get the
understand
Nobel
of it,
Prize, which is
all
decided
about
in
him. This is
which is
and we
which
always have to
incidentally
remember,
the
always
committee
have to-
meets in January. So
we always have to remember, when it comes to Donald Trump, he does everything in his own interest. He doesn't do it for anybody else's interest. So this whole thing of him trying to sort this out while he declares war on his own states and the cities
Portland
within
and
America.
Chicago.
Yeah. Good luck with getting the fucking peace prize.
And
You can't try to
threatens-
sort out everybody internationally and then have a domestic fucking war.
And also threatens to invade Canada, Greenland, and
Yes.
Panama, and
Absolutely.
And
trade sanctions,
and is
trade wars,
killing people in boats without any.
Literally blowing up boats.
And he's
in Venezuela.
murdering babies in Mozambique by taking away their antiretroviral medication to ensure they don't
He's not getting a
HIV
peace
from their
prize.
parents. From
I
their
think
mother.
the fact
definitely
that
not.
it's almost a media distraction in a way that they talk about it. It's such a bullshit thing. It's not real. It's never going to happen. He's never going to win it. Whether we think it's a viable or a serious sort of prize or not, some people want it that have been dodgy or whatever. Blah 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 blah. It's not going to happen for him. He needs to move forward. But when we talk about the actual thing, the ending of this horrendous conflict. If this is something that Trump has done, we can't really deny that.
No,
a clock is right twice a day. Like
You're right.
a broken clock is right twice a day. Did Trump actually achieve something?
Well, if it almost doesn't matter what his reasons are. If he achieves peace, then you got to give him some credit.
You got to give him the
But
credit.
I think it's more.
But the problem really is that it's a 19 or 20 part plan, isn't it? Like you have to give up the hostages first, and then we'll negotiate, etc., etc.
Right.
And you get Hamas or the Palestinians have got to do 20 things before they get peace.
Before I understand this,
I genuinely think that it's a misreading of the whole Nobel process, because I only found out today that the committee meets in January to decide who's going to get the prize. They don't leave it until the day before the prize. They do their work in January, make their decision, and then present it now.
I thought that they start considering it in January, and then that's
yeah,
when
but
they get all the
it wasn't.
nominations in.
It wasn't decided yesterday, is what
I thought. I thought that they came to the final decision on Monday, and it's a bit of a genius decision because the woman that they've nominated
Venezuelan
is a Venezuelan opposition leader who is very much against Nicolas Maduro, who Trump hates, and she's on board with Trump trying to get rid of Maduro. So, Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Mandelson looks worse and worse. BBC reporting he pushed Blair into meeting Epstein. Yeah. Jesus Christ! Thanks for the super chat. And
Mandelson, just shut the fuck up and stay at home. Yeah. You lost your job. Shut the fuck up. Because if he keeps talking, he's just going to get himself into more trouble. Shut the fuck up. But in regards to the Peace Prize thing, I'm ignoring it because it's waffle. He's not going to win it. It's waffle. It's not going to happen for him. That's my personal
Chris C.
opinion.
Chris C has put £5 in the chat saying Netanyahu has reiterated that he will see Hamas disarmed even if he has to resume the war. How is that a ceasefire?
And he will resume the war.
Thanks for that.
He'll get to stage 5 and he will start bombing again.
This is what I'm asking because I don't know the details in it now. When you talk about the 20-point thing, from what I have heard, that this is actually, the deal is more in Hamas's favor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
well,
that
Hamas,
true?
No, not really. I mean,
Right.
the Palestine, Gaza has been leveled. I mean, entire
Yeah,
cities have been razed. They're going to allow humanitarian aid through, but it's only going to be 400 trucks. They need 800 trucks a day just to stave off starvation. There's a lot of things in this that are just not going to actually sort things out overnight by any stretch of the imagination. But Trump is definitely taking credit for this, but the real credit needs to go to the negotiators from Qatar, particularly the Qataris who didn't respond to the fact that their country was bombed by Israel a couple of weeks ago. Has everyone forgotten that? Also, the Turkish and the Egyptian delegates who have been trying to push for peace for a long time, or negotiation for a long time. And I think Trump's just coming along at the 11th hour and just claiming victory for everyone else's hard work.
Right.
Do you mean the Qataris? He gave him a £400 million jet.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Those people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going to do whatever they say, isn't
it? But in Israel, I mean, I think they just run out of anything to do. They've destroyed all these cities, and now they've got all these people there who are starving. And what else is there to do?
If you want my cynical, I mean, the main thing in this plan is that there is no plan for the IDF. There's no timeline for the IDF to withdraw. They're essentially going to be there until they decide not to be there, even if there's an Arab peacekeeping force put in, which is what the suggestion is. But there's no agreement on who that would be and who would manage that and who would be in charge of that. And the IDF are not committed to withdrawing until they're comfortable with the situation, and which means that they won't withdraw. And there are so many stages in there for Netanyahu to reignite the whole thing that's what's going to happen. And it feels to me like you're right, Graham, the nominations were in at the beginning of the year, but that means that Trump had done nothing at the point that he could have been nominated.
Well, no, it mounted an insurrection against his own country.
Yeah, exactly. So it's highly unlikely he was on the nomination list in January. So they weren't even considering him for the prize this year. So.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and I think all of this was engineered to do this thing a week before the Nobel Prize to say that he's done peace in Israel, in Palestine, and then Netanyahu buys himself another year to piss about with this, basically, and then cause a reason why he needs to go back in.
I think a lot of us are very cynical about the situation.
Anything he does, anything he says he's done.
And I think that's fair. No, I mean, I'm just talking about the Middle East. I'm quite cynical. I mean, we've seen it in our lifetimes. Like, we've seen this time and time again. And it's just a fucking cyclical thing. And every now and again, they have a ceasefire, and they might have a few years. And then suddenly rockets are being fired, and hostages are being taken, and prisoners are being released. And this is a religious
It's normally
war.
when either the Americans or the backers of the Palestinians decide to pull their money out of the game, isn't it, basically? So if Saudi Arabia says we're not going to fund your weapons anymore to Hamas, then Hamas are just going to have to go, okay, we can't do this anymore.
How do you feel about the people being arrested for Palestine, for supporting Palestine action? Because I talked about this week, and I might have lost a few subscribers by what I said, but I just feel like they are a little bit, and don't jump down my throat for saying this, but like, I would rather people went to a protest for the people of Palestine with signs saying I support Palestine, and that's it. Not I support Palestine action, because they're just a group of British people who are living a nice life, presumably in a house that's not being blown up, with kids who aren't dead. I'm like, why is it so important to go out and support Palestine action when the people of Palestine, when the people of Gaza are suffering so much? Am I mad?
Because white old ladies were arrested on TV.
You should mention, let's do the super chats.
Yeah, thank you. Darian, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. If Israel is found to have committed war crimes, should the UK start investigating all Anglo-Israelis who are serving IDF members? I don't have an easy answer for this. I don't know if it will be a situation like that. I mean, look, Israel's not a signatory to the International War Crimes Tribunal, is it? In The Hague?
No.
And neither is America. That was Russia.
Yeah.
So I can't see this going. Yeah, like the Philippines, for instance, is a member of the International Criminal Court, and therefore they could arrest Duterte and put him on trial. I don't think that it's going to be the case with Netanyahu, so I don't think anything's going to come of it, Damian. Kieran, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, mate. That's very kind of you. I think the US are putting 200 peacekeepers on the ground to monitor. Also, Trump's family have big money interests in Qatar.
True. It'll probably work for a while.
Very true.
Probably.
Anyway, sorry, Palestine action. What? Sorry,
if it's in Netanyahu's interest, if he stays in power and it's in his financial interest, I agree with you. I think the whole. I mean, I'll probably lose some support here as well, but the whole Palestinian thing is constantly being used for different purposes than the surface would tell you. And I think to a large extent, it's what happened to the Labour Party 5 years ago or 8 years ago, and it was, using I actually sat and watched today as somebody in the centre of Brighton was reading out the names of children that had been killed in Palestine, and it's a very moving experience to sit there and listen to that. And the other day there was an installation of 1,000 pairs of shoes,
but they wouldn't be arrested for that.
No, they wouldn't, and they shouldn't, because it was really important and telling, and they were communicating with everybody around them.
If you're going to have the time and the energy to go out and raise awareness about what's happening in Palestine, do it about Palestine. It's more urgent.
The problem is it is often used by groups with other intents to use that emotion to actually get people to support things that are not just trying to stop children dying. And I'm being careful with what I say there, but Palestine Action has been proven to be causing some problems in that space. And as you say, why not just go out there and say, I support the people of Palestine? You don't need to say Palestine Action when you do it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, if you do that,
unless you've done your research, do your research. If you genuinely support Palestine Action, go out there, do it, and get arrested. That's fine. There's no.
But I just think that if you have the righteous indignation, you have that feeling that you need to go out and raise awareness about what's happening in Gaza. And as if people don't know, but I get it. I completely get that urge that people have.
Yeah,
I just think it's counterproductive just to get yourself arrested, waste police time, waste resources, and not raise awareness about what's happening in actual Palestine. You're raising awareness of the fact that Palestine Action has been prescribed as a terrorist group. We don't really know why. It is a bit.
But I also think I mean, there's always grey areas in these things, isn't there? It's like, the day after Charlie Kirk was shot, the government said it would be highly inappropriate to go out and campaign the following day. And you go, well, what? I don't get this. Basically, why is it that you could kill 10 Palestinian children with a single bomb one day and go out and do a pro-Israel protest the next day? Basically, but do you know what I mean? I just find it all rather confusing.
Nigel Farage didn't suspend the Facebook ads for his Vote Leave, Leave.eu campaign on the day that Joe Cox was killed.
After he was responsible for the guy that did that.
Yeah, he released the poster, that disgusting Breaking Point poster with all the brown faces of people, and there were white people in that queue, and the white people were cropped out of the picture. So they just left in the brown people.
Jenny's just mentioned in the chat about the Plasticine Action T-shirt, which is hilarious, and I love it. And they did get arrested for it as well. But in a way, it's I don't know enough about Palestine Action to know whether they deserve to be treated the way they are by the Home Office. I don't know.
Yeah. But I just think there's only so many hours in a day, and there's only like one person can do a protest. And if you're going to go out and protest, I think can we get a situation where our government's not giving weapons to the Israelis, or where we have sanctions against the Netanyahu regime? We are actually getting aid into help people in Gaza. Can we get that top of the agenda, and then we can worry about British people, perhaps, who shouldn't be on trial for being part of a group that has now been prescribed as a terrorist group for whatever reason, because the government won't fucking tell us. I just think it's like a priorities thing. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. Paula,
But-
thank you very much for the £5 super chat. What I strongly object to is the creep in the word and the definition of terrorism. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. Yeah, thank you very much for the super chat there, Paula. Yeah.
Because Trump has defined Antifa as a terrorist
I know, yeah.
organization.
So my granddad was a terrorist now. You know,
Yeah,
being part of the
exactly.
Royal Navy, launching torpedoes at
Well,
Nazi
arguably,
warships.
maybe Trump's granddad wasn't Antifa because they're Germans, aren't they?
Yes.
So we don't know.
So
We don't know the history of their relationship. There.
indeed.
And I think just one other thing on that with the Palestine Action thing. I don't know. I'm looking now at their funding and stuff, and there are some questions in there. But for me, it's a little bit like the Cross of St George flag and Union Jack flag campaign over the summer. That there are definitely some nefarious money and organisers behind that in the origins of it in Birmingham. Yeah. But it is such a simple campaign, you know, like I've often said, if we came up with that campaign, I was saying to somebody the other day, this will probably get me in trouble as well, but you know, if we came up with a campaign to say save the NHS by putting some nurses' knickers on a lamppost, basically, right, and everybody did it, right?
You know, we have male nurses as well, and not all men wear knickers.
That's fine. Did I gender?
I know some of us do, but that's a comfort thing.
Did I just by using the word knickers? But the pants, the point underwear, the point being, right, that if we'd done that campaign, we'd be very proud of it because people would just go do it because it's an easy thing to do. And that's what happened with the St. George's Cross. And I think that's what's happening with Palestine Action, is it's a phrase that you could go, yeah, I support action for Palestine or Palestine Action, etc. It's a very simple thing. And if you don't do the digging into it, you don't really know that you're saying the wrong things, that you're supporting an organization that might not be the right thing to support.
Well, Ian McKellar's asking a good question here. If it's peaceful, why does it matter? It's a damn good question. I mean, what I mean, I'm talking about the fact that I don't think people should be being arrested. Like, maybe we make that very clear. But you know you will be. If your placard says "I support Palestine," you won't be arrested. If it says "I support Palestine Action," you will be arrested. So just don't have the word "action" on there. This is a conversation that I think that we need to keep having, though, because we still don't know what Palestine Action have done and what the problem is. And I
Chris
want them to tell us
says in the chat, terrorism is what the IRA did.
Yeah.
What happened at Manchester Arena 2017 and the 7/7 attacks. Palestine Action hasn't committed that level of terrorism. And
it's just when we were trying to fight against Brexit, for instance, if there was a group, for whatever reason, Grassroots for Europe was prescribed as a terrorist group, I would think it would be a bit of a waste of my time to go out and with a placard saying I support Grassroots for Europe. Well, I would just have a placard that says I support Europe, because I know that I can't get arrested for that. I can protest every day for the next however many
during
days.
Brexit, I genuinely did that, and it's not for the terrorism reason. You know, that's the question I've got: is the prescription of them as a terrorist organisation or a terrorist aligned organisation is interesting, and I'm not sure that it's justified. But during Brexit, I took a lot of care to make sure that I wasn't supporting groups that felt like they were supporting my cause. But when you dig in, you go, oh, hang on, no, these people have got some weird funding going on. I shouldn't be.
What, like the people's vote?
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Well, that was an awkward silence. Hey, Scott, how's it going, mate?
Okay, thank you very much.
You needed some Watsits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's always that moment in the evening,
puffs.
Isn't there? That cheesy puff moment.
When we talk about people with the signs, their Palestine Action signs, you know, I almost think that like I don't even think they're protesting Palestine and what's happening at Palestine at that point. They're protesting the fact that Palestine Action has been made a subscribed terrorist group by the government. That's what that's the issue they're protesting at that moment.
Yeah.
But can you have a placard that says, I don't believe Palestine Action are a terrorist organization? Because that's not supporting them. That's just...
But if we looked at what Chris C suggested, if you went out and said, I don't believe Al-Qaeda is a terrorist organization, or I don't believe the IRA is a terrorist organization, it's within your rights to say that. We've got free speech, but there would be implications for that. And in this case, it really just boils down to this prescription, doesn't it?
Maximilian saying go out with a placard saying I support the UDF.
Right.
But I think at this point, when you are, because of what the government have done with this whole Palestine action thing, you're right. They should just avoid using the name. But the protest now is literally about the group being made a terrorist organization, rather than about what's happening in actual Palestine. So, and is it in theory, it's kind of worked. I mean, I think the numbers are crazy though. There was the protests last weekend, right? Where I heard on the news, literally on LBC, 500 people were arrested. Where the fuck did they put 500 people?
And why can't they put the
where did they put 500 fucking people they arrested? Where did they put them?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound realistic to me.
Well, they didn't.
Well, you can be arrested and not. You don't have to go into a jail cell.
What's the point of being arrested then?
Just so that they can bring charges against you. You don't have to.
You're arrested, but we'll let you go now.
Yeah, no. Well, they have to arrest you to bring charges.
Right.
They have to do that, but they can do that. They can bring the charges with the witnesses in the back of a van.
But will they arrest you just willy-nilly to say that they arrested you and then let you go?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because it's supposed to be a deterrent, isn't it? Basically.
Well, what's deterrent about that? They're going to let you go.
Did I say EDL?
Well, no, but they can still bring charges. So if you commit a minor crime,
I thought it said UDF.
You will just have to go to a police station. They will read out the charges to you, and then you can go, right. And then you go to court at some point in time, basically. So these people will go to court and they'll get a fine.
Right. So we're gonna process 500 people through court. Are already
incredibly
busy court system.
Yeah.
For holding up a fucking sign.
Yeah, and I think you're right, Scott. Right. I think you've really hit the mark on this, which is that they are protesting about their right to protest and their right to align
it's not about Palestine at that point. If they want to protest the atrocities and the genocide of Palestine, the sign should say "Stop the genocide in Palestine." Right?
Yeah,
that's what the sign should fucking say. But when they go out there and go, "We support Palestine action," or "I am Palestine action," or some shit like that, right? You're not protesting Palestine at that point. You're the genocide in Palestine. You're protesting the fact that this organization has been made as a terrorist organization.
Just because this is going on in the chat. So UVF, the Ulster Volunteer Force. That's the one that Max said. Is that? I think they're. I think I didn't say E. I said U for Ulster.
I mean, I totally support EDF. They've got windmills out into sea.
No, there was a UDF. There was the Ulster Defence Force, was it? There's the Volunteer Force, the Defence Force, and there was the UDA as well. The UDA.
I just wish they'd have, instead of all these initials, they'd just have proper names. That would be nice.
Someone says in the chat, right? There's got the arrest, and then they read the charges, and then send you out on bail.
Yeah.
But you have to actually take someone somewhere to go and do that, right?
No. They set up tents on the side of the road.
They can do it in a.
They
can determine that something is a police station.
Paddy wagon. They don't need to take the police station.
That's dumb. That's so fucking dumb.
Well, half the time, to be fair, it is just a fine. You don't really have to go to court unless you're going to.
And it's paperwork. That's all it is. What's your name?
And they literally are. They pretty much are guilty of the crime they're being charged with, which is, it's been determined that is it. Yeah, it's been determined that is a crime. I'm not justifying that at all. I'm just saying this government has said that is a crime.
Yeah,
and therefore they are charged.
Well, they want to make it worse.
And they all knew when they went there that would be the case.
There was some story about how they're going to ban chanting. Why? Because people keep chanting Keir Starmer's a wanker.
This to me is the thing that gets closer and closer to the real problem, which is a thin end of a wedge, which is that if you remember a year ago or 18 months ago, we would have been on this channel talking about the fact that the Tories were introducing new laws to stop us protesting, and Labour would do something about that. And they've done what they've done is come in and said we should make these. Well, and as you say, they're talking this week. The new Home Secretary is talking about making them more stringent. And
stopping people from repeatedly protesting about something, which is like what Steve Bray does. He repeatedly protests against Brexit.
What protesting is.
Yeah.
So how long before somebody sits there with a pen and says, if you're on the Politics Social or if you're in the chat of Politics Social, you are a prescribed terrorist and you cannot do anything about it? How long before
it's not here anymore, so we'll be all right.
Well, yeah.
And we don't. And now Wayne's got a job. We don't let him on enough.
If there's any terrorists around here, it's Aid's dad's balls, really. I mean,
do you feel uncomfortable? I'm glad you pointed that out, because I suddenly feel very uncomfortable about our WhatsApp chat, basically constantly talking about Aid's dad in various awful ways, and now we find
in
out
various wonderful ways. You mean?
No, ways. They're not wonderful. We talk about Aid suckling on his dad's balls every day in that chat, but I like that word, suckle.
There's a chance that my mum might be watching this, Scott.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mom.
She doesn't want to know what we say about her in the chat.
You know, I hit on your son on a regular basis, even though he has a girlfriend.
What? Sorry.
I was telling Graham's mom that I hit on his son on a regular.
Oh,
basis.
Graham!
Sorry, I thought it was to Mike.
I was like,
I thought it was a revelation.
No.
Okay.
Off to Spain to
I was letting your mom know that I hit on.
Hey, I'm off
to
Spain in 2 weeks' time.
Are you? Where are you going?
Madrid to hang out with my grandson for a week.
That sounds awesome. I want to go with you.
For the first time in a year.
Really?
The last time I went was exactly a year ago, when I thought I might never go again. Wow. And just after I was diagnosed. And now I'm going out there to go and I don't know how to put that delicately, but my daughter-in-law is pregnant and we got a new baby coming in April.
Oh, congratulations.
That's amazing.
It's great news.
You're going to be a granddaddy.
There is good news. Again, yeah.
Oh, whereabouts in Spain are you going?
Madrid.
Oh, beautiful.
I got a friend.
My best mate. Is it the Prada, the museum there? The art gallery.
Yeah.
Prada.
Yeah.
My best friend just moved out to Valencia.
It's beautiful there.
And I really need to go and see him. And I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go before.
I was in Barcelona in the summer and I just fucking loved it.
Barcelona is such an awesome city, but
Valencia flights at the moment, Scott, so cheap.
Are they?
30 quid.
It's shut the fuck up. That's literally crazy. I'm gonna have to do that.
Cheaper,
I was working out.
That's cheaper than me going to fucking York.
It's actually cheaper than you coming to London.
Way cheaper.
I'm telling you now, if I wanted to come up to Durham and see you, it would cost about 140 quid for me to go on the same week on the train.
Absolutely.
What you could do is fly to Malaga.
Yeah. You could fly to,
and then fly to Amsterdam. Fly back to Newcastle Airport.
Yeah. Fly to Amsterdam and then to Newcastle. That would be cheaper.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, you know what I've done? I've instantly gone on to EasyJet to see how many these flights are.
Don't get me started on this, right? Because I was thinking about going for an extra week, right? So, because to be absolutely fair, my kids claim to love me, but 7 days is too long to spend with your dad, basically. So. So I thought I'll add another week on. It's off season. It's not half term, etc. I'll go to Malaga or somewhere and just find somewhere cheap to stay for a week and have a little holiday to reward myself for getting through this shit for the last year. And the train from Malaga, which is 600 miles away, something like that, 400 miles away from Madrid. The train from Malaga to Madrid, high-speed train that takes 2 hours and 5 minutes, is 33 euros. First class, where you get food and a glass of wine, right, is 62 euros. And it takes 2 hours and 5 minutes. And again, if I wanted to go up and see Graham, I don't think he'd guarantee me food. There's no difference.
I will guarantee you food, my friend.
A first class ticket to Durham would cost me about 280 quid.
Okay, so if you can get to Heathrow, right? You can fly to Newcastle and back for 86 quid. That's cheaper than the train.
The other problem with all of these travel plans is if I go and see you, I don't get to hang out with my grandson. And I love you to bits, Graham.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Go
It's
not just an economic one.
Go hang out with your grandson. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's groovy.
It just brings up this problem with our railways. The problem with our railways at the moment is it is ridiculous that it is cheaper to fly to Madrid or anywhere in Europe than to do a train trip of more than 100 miles in this country. Basically,
Yeah, it's a joke. It's
it
literally
makes
a joke.
no
It always has
sense.
been.
And economically, it's got to cause a problem in that you cannot justify doing a trip to Manchester to do a sales trip or something like that. You've got to sit there and go, hang on, that's a lot of money that's costing us. Is it worth it?
You can go from Glasgow. What the fuck is wrong with me? Go from Gatwick to Durham, right, on the plane, and it only costs £3,209.
How would you have to go via Mumbai and
yes, that will be going via Teesside International Airport, Riga Airport, Amsterdam. So you have to go to Riga, the capital of Latvia, and Lithuania. No, Latvia. And then you have to go to Amsterdam. So you'll fly from Gatwick to Riga to Amsterdam, and then you'll land in Teesside International Airport, which is the Durham airport.
Brilliant. Riga's actually really nice. I spent a few days there once when I was speaking at a conference.
It'll take you
They have an amazing museum
hours
there. They have a museum of communism there. And it literally, the sign as you walk in says, please come in. This will remind you why we need to stop them doing this ever again. Basically, it's like, and it's a constant reminder to everybody as to why our borders should be safe in Latvia.
Yes, they absolutely should. I found these are going mad now. I'm trying to look for like London. Oh, it's because I'm going from London Gatwick, London Any. There you go.
Yeah,
that's what you want. £110. British Airways. Anyway, so why are we looking at this? Isn't interesting for people watching.
Not really, but in the end, I didn't go EasyJet. I'm flying Iberia with British Airways, and it's cheaper than the EasyJet flight to Madrid. So.
And we've been asked, are we buffering? I don't think we're buffering. I haven't dropped any frames. Anyone got a Euro passport? It's a bit quicker. Oh, Mike, you're gonna have to get your fingerprint scanned, and you're gonna have to.
It gets worse than that. As of October, I have to get a letter from my son signed in a police station in Madrid to prove that I'm staying there.
Wow.
Really?
Thanks, Nigel.
These are the new Schengen rules, basically. It's
You see, Nigel has a little person to do that for him because he's a multi-millionaire. We don't. Yeah. That's really shit. Do you reckon there's going to be a spate of like British people getting deported from Spain?
Well, I think if you think about the people that still voted Brexit but live on the Costa del Sol, the retired taxi drivers and whatever, basically, when their kids go and visit them next year, they're going to have to go through this process of going into a Spanish police station to get letters proving that they're staying with their parents or grandparents.
Yeah.
And I don't know at what point the Brexit-y people are going to just get this and just go, oh, hang on, this is ruining my life, basically, at this point. This is causing me a problem.
It's not great, is it?
Maybe we've got to wait for them all to pass away and then we...
I don't think they'll ever take responsibility for it. I don't think people are... There was this amazing story. This is Simon Jenkins, who writes for The Guardian, who is a private school mafia, of course. He's allowed to write for the newspapers. But here we go. I've got these two articles here, and what I'll do is I'll actually save that, and I'll see if I can just save that, and I will bring that to the screen so everyone can see it. I hope this works. There we go. So I'm going to make this bigger. Sorry, Mike, it's covering you for a moment. But these are two articles side by side. Simon Jenkins, Guardian writer, privately educated. 9 years ago, this is from Wednesday, the 6th of July. Ignore the prophets of doom. Brexit will be good for Britain. A stale leadership class is on its way out and the property bubble will burst. I can't see the bad news. And then there is an article from Today saying, from the same writer, but the same picture that hasn't changed in 10 years. We all know Brexit's to blame for the crisis facing UK steel. It's time for politicians to be honest and reverse it.
Unbelievable.
With British industry faulting, the excuse that the public wants this is visible. Parliament must force Starmer to act. Not a word about the fact that he said that he wanted this. That this is what he wanted. Not a word about that. I don't think that it's going to be like the Iraq War all over again. That no one's going to claim that they ever supported it.
Oh well, that's probably true. Yeah. Yeah.
More people believe in the Loch Ness monster than they believe in Brexit now.
The good thing is that Brexit happened during the period where we can keep the receipts. You know.
Yes.
Like we know what they said. We've got copies of it. Everyone's grabbed screenshots.
But it doesn't matter. Nigel Farage should be in fucking jail. Like every time he goes out in public, he should have rotten fruit held at the motherfucker. He should be, we should have made him dig a hole, jump in the hole, fucking stay in the hole. Like the fact that he's walking around like like a normal person after what he's done to this country.
That's funny. You're fundamentally right.
Still loved by
still
many
loved,
people.
still adored by all these dickheads around here putting up fucking flags on the fucking lamppost to show how much they want to wank off fucking Nigel.
Yeah, there needs to be a campaign to just focus on that for the next 2 or 3 years, basically. Yeah. Of like, if we need a scapegoat for why we're in the shit, it should be him.
It should be Nigel Farage. Yeah.
Because everybody else now, Boris, Gove, Theresa May, even, etc., all of those people are now just out of the picture. They're not playing the game anymore. Yeah. So we could focus entirely on him and say, well, you might not have been in power at the time. You might not have been leading the main campaign, but all of this is your fucking fault.
Yep.
Everything
he told you it would be a disaster.
It's down to you.
Yeah, and you promised that you would leave if it was a disaster, and you haven't left. When are you fucking off?
Yeah.
Anyway, we
say the same shit over and over again in regards to it. It never changes. It's he's going to continue on. He's going to keep doing the same bullshit and saying the same shit. And then when and he's going to keep making like these little crusades out of nothingness. What was it this week that he was getting upset about?
Teachers teaching Marxism to children. That's what he said. School teachers were teaching children how to be radical communists.
Yeah, our children. Our people in America are the enemy. This is the
guy who went over to America a few weeks ago and sat before Congress and asked them to put sanctions on our country because we were too woke.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And people are supporting this motherfucker?
Today he was tweeting that the National Trust have put vegan tampons in all of the National Trust properties.
Vegan tampons, yeah. That's cute.
Can you imagine? I mean, it's just going to be like Trump, isn't it? If he becomes prime minister,
it will be.
It's going to be a mad press conference every morning.
He's reading from that handbook. He is
absolutely.
If you look at the fact that their stars are aligned, right? Let's speculate a little bit. 2016, 2015, that's when Trump rose and Brexit happened. Yeah.
Yes.
So they're connected events. And Trump's support for Farage and vice versa has always been connected. So if Trump stumbles and falls, in whatever way, right? It could be a health issue, it could be a political issue, it could be whatever happens to the guy, or just loses an election if he actually has elections. Does Farage lose all of his power and authority at that point, do you think?
Do you mean his credibility?
Yeah, because the opposite is also true. If Trump stands again in 2028 and wins...
Nigel's an opportunist. He will pivot.
You think?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
If Trump has a downfall, like a fall from grace, right? Nigel will pivot from every single position.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, he would pivot straight away.
He'll
You
say
know
I was
what?
never friends
We're
with him
not
and
really
never
going
knew
to
him.
do that. We've decided we're going to do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He showed us what not to do. I think he is a
What a
fucking
fuck up.
tapeworm, and they're very, very hard to get rid of, tapeworms.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Hilgara, member for 5 months. Thanks for being good company this evening, guys. Oh, thanks very much for
You're welcome.
being a
Thank
member.
you for being good company for us.
Yes, exactly. And for, putting up with our shit. Putting up
And,
with our shit.
like, we really next week, we really should try to talk about politics a little bit more.
Should we, though? It's depressing. I'd rather talk about
Really?
life, the universe, and everything but politics.
It's World Mental Health Day, and we spent a large proportion.
We
of
did.
this
We
talk
spoke
about
about
mental health.
a lot of
There
mental
you
health
go.
issues today.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's been lovely, and I'm sorry about that. My little glitch earlier about my friend, but yeah.
No, that's
sorry.
Glitch, literally.
Yeah, no, mate. Don't apologize for that. It's a bit shit,
No,
mate.
it's a shame.
And yeah, it's just
life's
we're here
short,
for
guys.
we're here for a good time, not a long time.
Not a long time.
Yeah. So I'm
Life
sorry
is
to hear
short,
that,
guys. Live it. That's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Have fun, relax, chill out. Don't put too many things on yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
don't imagine that it's all your fault or that you can change everything. But we can do a little. We can all do a little. But do you know what?
Exactly.
Do you know when there was
It will only take one bullet.
Before we go, Kat was at a conference this week for the all staff conference for the company she works for, the non-profit she works for, and they had a guy on who was just talking about happiness, about the fact that we concentrate so much on our mental health, but it's always like things that are bad, that things that have affected us, and illnesses and bereavement and all that kind of stuff, and we don't really talk about happiness enough. We think, why is this person sad? And we hardly ever think, why is that person happy? And I think we should. I think we should start. And there is a country, Bhutan, up in the Himalayas, on the border of India and China, and they measure the national happiness level, and they try and make people as happy as possible. And I think that's something that we should look into in this country, to be honest with you.
Didn't David Cameron suggest that back
Maybe
in
a
the day?
hug a hoodie. That's why I wear a
That's
That's why I wear a
certain.
hoodie. I'm just hoping
his-
that the pig fucker will
In
come
his
and give me a big
first
hug.
term, I'm pretty sure he tried to introduce a happiness index.
A happiness what?
A happiness index. It was literally like something equivalent to measuring GDP. And I think there's a Scandinavian country that does it. And it's
Right.
about measuring the quality
Your
quality
quality
of
of
life.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no one will do that now because everybody will tell you it's shit.
and
And you know what? Especially the people that think that people that get on boats and go across hazardous seas to come and live in this shithole of a country. You know what I mean? You know, the country that's so bad it sucks. This whole country sucks. It's all full of foreigners, but everybody wants to come and fucking live here, and you think it's so wonderful that everybody wants to come and live here.
Yeah.
Is it wonderful or is it shit?
Make your
Which one
fucking
is
mind
it?
up.
It's a
Tim
constant process.
Tim Ballum has been a member for 16 months and says everyone needs to chillax. Yeah,
You're right, Tim. You're
Yeah,
right.
buddy.
life's too short.
I'm going to go and see a film tomorrow called I Swear.
Ooh,
Okay. What's that about?
Have you heard of this film?
I
It's literally
swear.
about-
Fuck, bollocks,
about-
piss, arse, shit, cunt.
It's about a guy with Tourette's. It's
Ah, brilliant. I love it.
it's
I'm
described
going
as
to
a
gig
dark
tomorrow.
comedy, but it's a biopic. So it's a true story, and it's supposed to. Mark Kermode gave it his highest rating as a film ever, basically. So
Wow. Okay. I'm
I'm
looking it
going
up now. It
to-
looks quite interesting.
I'm going to a gig. Gigs are my happy place, so I'm going to a gig tomorrow night, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to say which one at the moment. We'll talk about it next week.
cool.
Someone's written in the audience review, this week I've been to the cinema twice. First, you see the new DiCaprio film, which was so boring and woke that I fell asleep. Well, it obviously wasn't woke enough then, darling, was it? Because
Yeah,
you fell
'cause you were
asleep, and
asleep,
being
babe.
awake is the opposite of being asleep. But there you go. But then I watched I Swear, and it was really good. So some gammon liked it. Hurrah. Anyway, so
gosh.
let's leave it
Okay.
at that before we hit the witching hour. But Scott, Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight and keeping
Hey,
us
thank you.
entertained and informed. as always. And and then, I think we talked a bit about politics. I mean, we talked about
A little bit.
Palestine. We talked about
Yeah.
Trump not getting a fucking peace prize. But yeah.
Such a nothing burger. Though.
My mum's in the chat. Oh, my mum is there. Hello, my mum.
You want to
my
know
mum.
what happens between me and Grant?
No,
No,
Scott.
my mum doesn't need to hear that. Anyway, so yeah, I will be back on Sunday after Sunday roast. So if you're not already, please subscribe to Alex Kerr's Political X channel, and he does a show
nice.
every Sunday morning called Sunday Roast. It's pretty
you going
cool.
on it?
So I've already done it. I was on last week, and now I'm on again this week with a couple of guys from Turn Left Media, who are really nice. We'll if you get a chance to watch that, I'll be doing Morning Brew directly after that. So I'll be doing Morning Brew at 11 o'clock.
He's never called me to come back on there. I guess.
Oh.
It's just...
He does it. I mean, he told me I was a co-host. I didn't hear from him for 6 months, so I don't know. I think Scott will when someone lets him down at the last minute, and he's like, "Oh fuck it, I'll give Graham a call." Graham, can you come on the show? And I'm like, "Yes, please." I like being on the internet. Please, can I say things?
Literally, what Graham does to me when he has to do stateside, I get a text message at 5:30. What are you doing tonight?
What are you doing? Hey man, you chill. You want to do stateside?
You want to come on stateside?
Can you do your fake American voice for us?
Yeah, so people think you're American. Don't do your natural Cockney voice.
It's very
it won't work. It won't work.
It is very aid, to think that I've just been putting this on for the last fucking 30 years.
Wouldn't it be great if when he asked that, you just went, "Oh, right, Gazy, you caught me.
You got me." That would have been better.
Fucker.
Let's go straight into your Dick Van Dyke impression.
Well, there it is.
Oh, you are, Mary.
It should be enough to tell you. It's not fake. Governor.
Anyway, so good night from me. It's good night from the guys. Hey, listen, thanks to everyone who's been watching. Thanks to everyone who dropped a super chat in and dropped in the chat. Give us a like on the way out. We always like a like. See you on Sunday. And until then, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.